What's up, everybody? Hey,
Shop Media, what's
Sharmedia.
up?
Um,
Okay, we know it's been a while and we feel a little bad, but it's scheduling is a little difficult for all of us. It's six of us, right?
yep,
So,
there's six of us, and we're in different time zones.
so Queen and I decided to, try to pop out a little bit and see what's going on with everybody. So, we hope you enjoy our little show today. We'll just talk about a few things, Queen.
Okay, we could talk about the Pop Smoke thing first, since we got to segue into the other thing with the story of the lady that was missing. So we could talk about the link. Well, there's a possible link between Pop Smoke's murder and the dead body that was found in the Malibu barrel in Malibu in a barrel. Police are investigating. Authorities are investigating a possible connection between the murder of rapper Pop Smoke and a disturbing discovery on a beach in Malibu. The naked body of a man identified as Javante Murphy was found inside a barrel that washed ashore on Monday, July 31st. Shockingly, Javante is the brother of Jaquan Murphy, one of the individuals arrested in connection with Pop Smoke's murder in 2020.
Wow.
Jaquan initially faced charges of attempted murder in relation to Pop Smoke's death, but was later cleared. However, he is currently awaiting trial for an unrelated murder in Los Angeles County. According to TMZ, sources from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department revealed that the investigators are now exploring the possibility that Javante's murder might be a retaliation killing for Pop Smoke's death.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I know I was hearing that the young guy that supposedly is responsible for pulling the trigger on Pop Smoke's death, that he only got 4 years, and it's going to be less than that because he's already served 2 or 3 years. So he's only going to have like a year in juvenile. He's not even going to real jail. He's going to some type of juvenile facility. So
Mm, mm, mm.
that's going to be crazy if I don't know how they will find that out unless they catch whoever did that to him. What
Right.
made them think that it? I guess it's because the guy's in jail and that's his brother. But
Hmm. That's
um,
just the whole story and how that played out with how Smoke was sad from the beginning, and then to find out that it was juveniles, you know what I'm saying? And then
and
you
that
know
they
how that
killed
goes.
him. Yeah, and they
Right.
killed him.
Hmm.
That's a second Brooklyn rapper that was a big Brooklyn rapper that could have carried Brooklyn on his shoulder. That's dead and got killed in L.A. So I don't know. I think rappers need to be very, very careful when they're going out to other states,
Hmm.
because they don't really know what's going on and what the dynamic inside dynamics is, and a lot of these rappers get caught out there in other states.
Hmm. And it's like how you said about, all these other states and their politics, and you don't really know, how they get down there, and um it's been a big thing like today with Aunt Glizzy and um Yella
Yeah,
and
mm-hmm.
all of these people that he's, it's almost like you beefing with him. Why are you bringing up the dead? What is happening? I don't understand it. I mean, are you doing this just for clout? Are you doing this because you want your name to ring a little bit, outside of where you're from? What is the issue? I know Yella said some things about, DC and put him in it and all this other stuff, but I think that was a reaction to something else that he said when he was talking about Duck. So, what's your purpose of this and the dead? I don't understand that. When you're not even
Right,
from there,
like
you didn't even know them.
you don't even know Duck. Duck is dead. He's not
Right.
with us anymore. So why are you taking on this position of speaking
Mhm.
on him? You are not from Chicago. You never had any type of problems. He never did anything to hurt you personally. So if you got a
Mhm.
problem with Yella, why can't you talk to Yella? Why you got to bring Duck into it? What's up,
Right.
Rocky?
Hey, Rocky. And
You
it was
know,
weird because I just saw his live before, I got on here and he's talking about Cairo. I'm like, what is
oh,
you were
Glizzy.
just on? Yes. Now
I
he's
don't
talking
know,
about
because Cairo
Cairo and
don't
bringing
even
up
really say too much. Like Cairo didn't even really say nothing to him, so I
hmm
don't know why he keep going back to Cairo. I've be it could be that they clout chasing because
right.
why is you looking for problems with people you never even met personally in life? Like that don't even make no
Exactly.
sense. Then you going and dissing people you don't even know. Like that shit don't make this is ridiculous when they do that. Hello, young
hmm
Shane.
Hey, young Shane, how are you? Thank you for
And then
tapping in. I appreciate you.
these things are being played out online and then other people pick it up and feed it. You understand what I'm saying?
hmm Yeah, and it's like, he's going through this whole little thing with, Chicago, and then, of course, here in Chicago, we having a whole to do about, PGF Nook, and he just got out, and then it's being said that M Block took his chain and his watch. It's a whole lot of stuff going on, especially in Chicago, with that. And then on top of that, you got the teams and what they're doing. School is going to be in soon, but I don't know where the end stops.
Well, I'd
It's
rather see somebody get robbed than people getting killed. I hope it doesn't lead up to anybody
right.
dying, but that's just a part of the game, getting robbed part. But um,
Exactly. Hey,
yeah.
Dan.
What's up, Tony? Um, I ain't hear nothing about PGF Nook in a while, so to hear this going on, I'm like, oh shit, like what's going
Right. Well,
on now?
they said he got arrested um, for a gun with a switch. He bonded out and he was supposed to have a show the other day, and somehow they changed the venue like at the last minute, and then today I hear about his chain and his watch being taken.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm just hoping that doesn't turn into something major.
Yeah, I hope so too. Cause you got enough going on. There wasn't there an 8-year old and another 7-year old or something got
It
shot
was an
out there.
8-year-old girl that was shot last night, and it's conflicting reports going on. The news was saying that this guy that the family didn't know walked up, shot the little girl in the head, and that it
Mm.
was a fight with the gunman and I guess the people that were with her, and the gunman ended up getting shot in the face, is what the news was saying. And then some of the other, online people leaving comments were saying that it was the uncle, and then other people were saying no, it wasn't anybody that they knew. So we don't really know what the real issue is, but it's a 8-year-old girl that's dead now.
Damn. And
Mhm.
did they catch the guy? I mean, they shot him in the face. Did he die?
No, he didn't die. He's in critical, last I heard.
Damn.
hmm
What is it with these people? They going to shoot kids now because I mean, people have become very, very heartless.
Right,
I think it's
right.
because of people pushing this demonic type of energy, like I'm a demon and I don't care.
hmm
And now it's gotten to this now. You know what I'm saying? It's up to y'all out there in these streets, like to y'all gonna have to control yourselves because y'all see how far this has went. And this is not good. All these kids being killed like this. These kids don't have shit to do with you and your problems, whatever you have on the streets or whoever you have a problem with.
It's true. And it's sad because, you know, when we talk about the old school way and, what the OGs would allow to happen and all this other stuff, where if you had beef with somebody, you gave them a pass if they were with their kids. You gave them a pass if they was with their mama. You know what I'm saying? You would tell families, hey, take the kids inside. So I'm about to go on. Stuff like that. Now, it's none of that.
Yeah,
They
and you
don't care
don't
if
go
you with
shoot
your
up
baby,
somebody's
you
house.
holding your baby.
Yeah, you
Right.
don't go shoot up. You go and wait for whoever it is. You wait till you see them.
Mhm.
These are street codes, and just because you're in the streets, that don't mean that there should be no boundaries.
Right. And
This
it's
is
like
what
the
happens.
whole the street code is gone. You know, that particular one. The little ounce of respecting the civilian, that part is gone. Because you see somebody and somebody had a video up of showing them shooting, one of these little switches and stuff. You don't even have control over it.
And they
That's
don't know
like
how
you
to shoot
shooting
in the
all these
first
people.
place. Right.
Exactly.
A little
Exactly.
dumbass just running around here with this but with these weapons and just doing whatever they feel like doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have
Mhm.
changed, Young Shane. They are different, Rocky. But see, it's gotta be more people out there that's willing to instill discipline on these little niggas. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? There was discipline before. They was afraid of having to face the whole hood for something that they did. They wouldn't come around bragging that they shot some 8-year-old little girl or something. But you see
Right.
what's happening now is that being that nobody's helping and there's no rules, a lot of civilians is shooting back. Like, look, the dude shot the little girl and he got shot in his face. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm. Yeah, and it's just so sad that the little girl had to get hurt though. You know what I'm saying? And it's,
Yes.
rest in peace to that little girl. And I'm praying for their family for their loss because that little girl didn't do anything to anybody.
Like,
And
what did he get out of doing something like that to a kid?
mm,
Damn.
and the- and I don't know, like it, because at one point they were saying that this was like a drive-by. Another one was they said that he got out of the car and walked up to her. So I don't know. It's just weird and strange. But I just hope and pray that you know, he's not one of those people that gets out on like an ankle monitor or something like that in Cook County. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. What's up, Eastside?
Hey, Eastside.
Well, another story that's been going on, sis, is, and guys in the chat, a husband of a missing Georgia woman, Imani Robeson, was charged with her murder. Robeson was last seen alive July 16th after having dinner with her mother. The husband of Imani Robeson, a Georgia mother of four, she had four sons, who disappeared last month, has been arrested and charged with her murder in what investigators said was a domestic incident. Donnell Anderson has been charged with felony murder, malice, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. The body of Robeson was found Friday, and Anderson was arrested in an apartment in Atlanta. When the body was found, well, whatever. Robeson was last seen by her mother July 16th. Also, what they're not saying in this article is that she was in a toxic relationship, but she had a husband and a boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
And she just had a baby 1 month ago. She got a 3-year old and two other sons. Now, what people aren't understanding is that they're taking out these fathers are taking out their children's mothers, and then they're winding
Mhm.
up going to jail. Do you even love your children that you want to go and kill their primary caregiver? And then you're not even gonna be there to pick it up. Some of these kids gonna go through the foster home. Do you know how many motherless and parentless children is out there now that we gonna have to deal with within the next 10 to 15 years?
Mhm.
That's gonna be
Mhm.
cold hearted as hell.
Exactly.
Cause a
And
lot
the
of them
sad
is
part about it is that's where some of this stuff is happening from too, that these kids don't have a stable household. It's some of them, not all of them. You don't have a mother, or you don't have a father, or both of your parents are on drugs, or your dad is in jail and your mother's trying to do the best that she can, working two or three jobs to keep, a roof over your head and food and all this other stuff. So it's always a dynamic to it.
yeah, and you got females that's killing the fathers. They're going to jail. You
Hmm.
got men that's killing the mothers. Like, this is a very cold, cold world. And what's making it even worse is that, what's up, OMC? Is that
Hey,
these
OMC.
These children are witnessing their parents being killed, or actually finding the dead body themselves, or having to
Right.
go to court and identify their own fathers or their own family members or friends of the family as murdering their parent. Like, what the fuck
Hmm.
are these? Excuse my language. What are these people doing out here?
Exactly. Exactly. And sometimes, and even though she was doing, some extra things, having a boyfriend and a husband and stuff like that, we were talking about off live about people not being able to let the relationship go, not being able to, you know, just leave kind of thing. And you have too many domestic related homicides and stuff like that because you're not able to let it go.
It's a lot of dynamics behind that. Cause like I was telling NC y'all, there's a lot of these young people now that's doing these love spells. They're going to these voodoo priestesses and these people, and they're putting spells on people to maintain their relationships or have somebody fall in love with them. And sometimes that backfires, because then when you're ready to leave the person, now they're stuck to you because you put a spell on them. And people think that shit is a game, and it's really not a game. Half of these people that's going crazy and killing their spouses, there has been some sort of spell involved in them too. Now, y'all see recently, for those of you who don't think that people are doing these type of things, that they talked about the YSL um, court case with Young Thug, and they have on video his friends doing some type of ritual, killing a goat. So this type of
Hmm.
stuff is real, and even though people don't want to believe it or understand it, it doesn't mean that it is not taking place. It's just
Right.
because you know about it, it doesn't mean that you agree with it. It's just that you're up on what's going on in this world. You know what I'm saying? And not in denial. There's a lot of stuff going on here that people are manipulating the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm has a lot to do with what is happening with us on the physical realm. And you know, a lot of these people think that stuff is a game. They playing with stuff they don't understand. And then you got some of these people who just can't see a person leaving them, like NC was saying, and going on and moving on with their lives. Um, I believe, like, I fell in love with somebody before that I wanted to be with, and they didn't necessarily feel the same way about me. But I'm not going to try to manipulate anybody's free will. You let people go and do what it is. If they don't want to be with you no more, if they feel that you're not the one they want to spend their lifetime with or spend time with, then that's not up to you to take their lives because they don't want to be with you. And not only are they taking these people's lives, but they taking their own lives too. Like what the
Right.
hell is going on? You only like 20 some years old. You might be in your first serious relationship, and because it didn't go how you wanted it to go, you're going to kill yourself. Everybody experiences that. It's just something that you go through in life.
See, that's
I
what we
don't
were
know.
talking about. We want to hear like the men and what's your perspective on letting go because we got so deep into it where it was like, you know, men sometimes think of the female as like it's theirs, it's their property, it's they own them. You know what I'm saying? Hey there, Beezy. Let me know if you
Hey,
want to come over. I'll
BZ.
drop the link, okay? So, it's almost like property. So you almost feel like this is mine and it will forever be mine and nobody else can have it.
And
And
you
that's
know,
kind of like weird.
it is weird. Like, cause now that you let me into your life, I have control of your destiny. I have control of
Hmm.
anybody who's around you destiny. These guys are now not only killing the females, but they're killing the children too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they're killing whole families now because they have some problem with some female. Like, I don't know. I don't know if people are getting weaker and they just don't know how to deal with pain, or just being saturated too much with the idea of death being the answer to every fucking thing.
Hmm. See, Rocky, he said he's married and he don't own his wife. Exactly. And that's why it's, it's when you hear of these situations where the man or the woman kills their mates, it's the person was leaving them. They found somebody else. They didn't want to be with them anymore. And it's like, because I don't think that way, that's why it's strange to me that you, with all of these people that we have in the world, right, that you would think of taking your own life, taking somebody else's life,
And
or
the
winding up in
children,
jail forever, leaving your kids without anybody, all over this person that you feel that you possess.
and taking out children who didn't even have a chance to live yet. Like,
Right.
that's
Hey,
crazy. What's
oh,
up, OMC?
Hey, what's up, Queen? NC? Where's the other ladies at?
They're busy, so we just decided to go on because,
mhm,
people have, they got other things to do, and we're in different time zones. So
Yeah,
sometimes it's hard for all of us to be on at the same time. But then again, the show must go on. We can't just not have lives. So,
right.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's
I was
what
just
we
wondering.
go ahead and do. We do. Hey, that Beasley, you want
Yeah,
to step up? If you want to come up here, you tell me, girl. You can hit the link.
hmm
yeah, busy.
Yeah.
so what
It's
you
I don't
think?
know. I mean, oh, you here. You tell us what you think about this whole possession thing. It's a little weird, for me, because I cannot grasp that all of- all of these men in the world, right? That I could say I'm gonna throw my whole life away for this one man that is not feeling me anymore. I'm gonna just throw it all to the wind. I'm gonna forget my kids. I'm gonna forget my freedom. I'm able to forget my life over this one person.
Yeah, there's well, I'm gonna come at it like maybe three or four different ways. So, all right,
Okay.
first way I'm gonna come at it is, um, and this is the best way to help me understand how I kind of figured it out for myself anyway, is
Mhm.
people are drugs. If you think about it, every emotion, everything that we feel is a chemical produced,
Mhm.
serotonin, dopamine, all these different things. It's the same thing when we gamble. The receptors in the brain, what I'm saying, it's the same feelings when you take certain drugs. It hits those receptors in the brains. So
Mhm.
you have, especially when it comes to sex, you have sex with a woman, just coming from a male perspective, my perspective as a male. um you have sex with someone, it feels good, your receptors in the brain get used to that, you want to possess that, it becomes addictive. Somebody tries to take that, you're ready to fight for it. No different than trying to take a drink from an alcoholic. That's their reward.
Mhm.
What are you doing? Put that down. You see what I'm saying? And then when that person wants to take that away, given the times that we in now, sensitive times, and like Queen Lotus said, this obsession with death and things being the answer, people not being able to handle anything, the idea of scarcity and not having, it's more so today. Everybody's chasing the bag, chasing something. You know what I mean? To not be without, the fear of being without. Thinking you'll never be able to replace that, it drives a person crazy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's one way. Um, Another way is just plain old. Well, somebody said possessing somebody. Well, possession is the word. You know what I'm saying? That person is possessed by something. You know what I mean? That's from a spiritual standpoint. First, I went chemical. Now this is spiritual.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is a possession. It's temporary. And a person, once they do it, they don't like, what the hell did I just do? Sometimes they may off they self, they may kill the kid, and them, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's gone. They've been body snatched. You know, think about that video that I posted on IG with them dudes in Philadelphia on Trank, right? See how they were just stuck?
Mhm.
They was just
Mhm.
open vessels. You know how vessels break, I mean, drugs break you down and make you more susceptible to possession. Those are
Right,
nothing but vessels right there. They were open, wide open for whatever entity wanted to enter them and use them for
right.
something.
They call them walk-ins. OMC.
Walk-ins. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Mhm.
there's that. you know. And also, it just come down to brass tacks. You put time and energy into somebody, you don't want
Mm-hmm.
nobody else benefiting from that. You know, aside from everything else, it's like this is time for my, especially if it's been going on for a while, it's years. You know, first thing a person gonna think about is what I could have been doing had I not been with your ass, and now you're gonna try to just leave. Nah,
Right.
you dying for it. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's justified, but it's justified to them in the moment that they doing it. You see what I'm saying? So that, I mean, those are like, that's three of the ways that I can think of, you know, off top, that would cause that kind of thinking, would make somebody act that way. You know, I didn't even think about what Queen just said, like how many people are secretly putting spells on folks, you know, and yeah, there's a price to pay doing that. I didn't even think about
Mhm.
that. You know, most people
Mm-hmm.
in the hood, I ain't never known nobody in the hood doing those spells, but I wasn't with them 24/7. So I don't know how many things girls was doing, you know what I mean? And if it was that many women doing that, young women, whatever, you know, what have they released, you know, into the atmosphere where it's just around now? You know, I think about times where there would be like a week where my whole block, it used to just be just mired in conflict, just always something, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
we all felt it, you know. Some of us be sitting around and be like, man, what the hell's going on this week, man? First this thing happened, then this thing, then them get into it, and they get into it. It's like, it wasn't even like this. And it wouldn't be like that the
Mhm.
next week or the next, you know, it wouldn't happen for a long time. You just be like, what the hell happened this week? You know what I'm saying? So
Sometimes
it's just,
chemtrails too. Prince was talking about that on a video where he said, it'll be summertime and everything will be lovely, and then he'll start seeing stuff being chemicals being sprayed in the air, and next thing you know, the whole neighborhood is fighting with each other. So
mm,
it's a lot of things that we don't notice that can affect those who may not be aware of it, or those
right,
who
Mhm.
are more susceptible to it than others.
Right.
That's why
gotcha.
vibrating on a certain frequency is important, because it's certain things that can't overtake you because you vibrating so high and it can't
Mhm.
penetrate you.
Gotcha. All
And
right, but
it's weird that you said that about putting spells on people, because I think I told y'all before that my husband was in the Navy, and he was saying how they would travel all over, and where they were stationed at the time, one of his friends, the long distance, him and his wife decided to take a break, and he started not necessarily dating, but messing around with this girl that was there, where they were stationed. And they're at his house. They, had all of them had been out, and they came back to his friend's house. And my husband said he woke up to, like, it looked like somebody was jumping up and down, and he trying to focus, like, what is happening? She was jumping up and down, like back and forth over this guy's head, right? So he yelled, "Hey, this girl jumping up and down over your head. I don't know what she doing." Right. So the guy got up and he's like, "No, no, no, you gotta go. This is some nonsense, whatever." So he took her home, and they ended up going to their other friend's home, his hometown in New Orleans. And his mother was into, like all of the spirits and, voodoo and all kind of stuff, right? She says to this guy, somebody got a spell on you. Did you know that? Do you know who this person is and all this other stuff? And she ends up giving him, something to burn in his house, and it will let him know for sure, right? So he goes to try to burn this thing. He's afraid to do it. By this time, he's back with his wife. She tried to do it. All the guys that were with him tried to do it. Nobody could light it but him. And when he lit it, it turned whatever color she told him that it would turn, to let him know that somebody had put a spell on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, when he called her to tell her, the his friend's mom, she said, "I knew it already, and don't worry, I'll take care of it." Whatever that meant, right? Later on down the line, he ends up getting back with his wife. This girl was trying to stalk them for a while, and then she ended up finding somebody else to deal with, some drug dealer that was in the town where they were, right? The drug dealer guy finds out she was at his house. She ends up stealing like $15,000 out of his safe and tried to run away. And he woke up and saw the safe open. He, chases behind her. I'm just trying to make the story short as possible. He chases behind her and shoots her several times, right? And she dies in the street. And
Mm,
he
mm,
just
mm,
sits
mm.
there on the curb and he waits for the police, right? Which was weird too. But when my husband's friends saw their other friend's mom again, she lives in New Orleans. She doesn't know anything about, the news or anything like that. So she said when she saw him, she said, I told you I was gonna take care of it. You're free now, right? And he was looking at her like, wait a minute, what? How do you know what happened, right? Nobody really knew what happened because they were in a small town, but his mom knew. And it was just strange that this lady put this spell on him to try to bind him and keep him. But because this friend's mother, put in a counter, whatever she did to it, it was just weird.
Well, you see how now he lost his life too because he was caught up with this chick. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Now he's probably
Mhm.
doing time for murdering her, so he had to take the brunt of that. Because karma just
Mhm.
swings in so many different ways.
Mhm.
That's why they talk about generational curses. You can get somebody could have put a curse on your grandfather, your grandmother, or something
Mhm.
like
And
that,
it
and
go
it can
pass
roll down.
down.
Like the shit is real. I
Mhm.
didn't believe it until I started hearing certain stories and I started understanding about karma. You know what I'm saying? I seen it play out in my
Mhm.
own life and I seen it play out in others' lives. And I started to respect karma. Like people gotta really watch the things that they do, and it's
Mhm.
karma being going back and forth like a boomerang. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think about that when I just think about people I've known in my life where it's always like they could never get a break. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I mean, I'm
Mhm.
sure I know people like that. Like if it ain't their problem, it's something else. They end up dragging them into it anyway. Or, within their own family, it's just always some kind of conflict or turmoil, or, they're afflicted by something physically or some kind of neurological issue along with all the drama that surrounds them. And, I used to think that, they just kept stuff up and they was bringing it on themselves. But, I'd be like, man, they ain't even doing nothing. Like, why does stuff keep happening? And I never
Mhm.
put two and two together. Like, damn, maybe, jokingly we say, man, y'all ass cursed or something like that. We be joking because, we don't see nobody practicing nothing like that. So we don't know what's going on.
Right.
And so I never thought that, yeah, maybe it is a generational curse. Like, damn. And why,
And
why was somebody,
it's toxicity too, because when you're dealing with a narcissist in your life, narcissists thrive on chaos. They
Mhm.
thrive on argumentative negative energy. So they can keep that in your life as well, unbeknownst to you. They manipulate you too. They have a way of manipulating you psychologically, having you play into these type of beefs all the time. Like you see these toxic females on these reality shows, and people think that shit is cute, but it's really these women are toxic. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
Right.
They are vibrating on a low frequency.
oh, I know. I mean, I've seen enough of them. And, I just wonder, like, how do people fight so much? You know what I'm saying? Like, they must like it. It can't just be for the cameras or the money or nothing like that. Like, if it ain't
Mhm.
one thing, it's another. I mean, like, how can y'all go to some of the most beautiful places on earth, vacation spots, natural springs, sound baths, all these things, and then y'all fighting again? You know?
Like look at Krishan Rock. This is a
I
perfect
was just
example.
about to say that.
Yep, of a
Yes.
narcissist. But she's not
Mhm.
around Blueface. She's not fighting and carrying on with people every 5 minutes. But as soon and he knows how to trigger her. He'll call her and tell her to come get him, and then it'll be a whole setup for her. She's pulled into a situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's a manipulative thing that he does with her. So it's more than she loved Blueface so much she do anything. No, he's manipulating her. He's playing with her
Mhm.
psychologically.
Exactly. And you
And
can
Yeah.
tell, and he
he's playing.
knows when he's doing it. He knows what, because if you see, he's like a matter of fact kind of, well, what do you mean? What's wrong with what I just said? Kind
That's
of thing.
called gaslighting. That's one
Yes.
of the things they do, and it's called gaslighting. For those of you who don't know, when they know
Mhm.
exactly why you're acting the way that you're acting, but they try to act like they don't know, and it's you that started it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As soon as you start getting loud, and they be like, why are you yelling? Damn, we're just trying to have a
Right.
conversation, knowing they just said something that was going to piss you off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but people
Right.
think that shit is cute, and they think it's being conceited to the thousandth power, but it's really a demonic energy because they love chaos, and a lot of people get killed dealing with narcissists
Mhm.
because they put them in situations. Now he called Krishan Rock over there to pick him up, and the girl was down. The girl, the baby mother, Jasmine, that's her name.
Mhm.
She was there.
Oh.
Wait, okay. If you called her to come pick you up, why is this girl downstairs waiting for Krishan? Why? And you know where to be found. Krishan can't find you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But you're the one that called her and asked her to come pick you up because he wanted to set up a situation. Krishan is pregnant.
Mhm.
She's 7.5 months pregnant, and they're talking about, oh, she didn't get out the car and she didn't do this and she didn't do that. He goes, oh yeah, because the baby mother is responsible for her losing her tooth. And if I would have caught you, I would have been like, I would have been shooting at you, or like, what are you doing? She's supposed to get out the car and shoot at this girl or something, or fight this girl, and she's 7.5 months pregnant. That's pure toxicity right there.
Mhm.
Hmm. And the biggest thing they hate is when you call out exactly what they are. You speaking to the demon is using them or whatever you want to call it, and they flip. I mean, you could say the simplest things like you can just simply say you're a manipulator. They, I mean, they will lose it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's like
that
you
happened
just
to
called
me.
it.
I told him he was a fucking child. I told him he was a predator, and he hates me. Like, you would think I did something to him. He hates me more than people who actually did something to him.
Right.
That's what I
Mhm.
said.
This one female, I said that too. I mean, she started looking around like she was trying to find something to hit me with or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. So now you want to get physical with me? Like, well, oh,
Maybe.
that's what you do. I'm like, no wonder your kids don't like your ass. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, this is what you do. Like, you act like your daddy. You know what I'm saying? It's like I met the dad. Like, you act just like your dad. I don't know what he did to you. I ain't gonna say no, like, assume no sexual stuff, but you act just like him. Like everything you complain about him, you do, but you don't see it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you keep saying, why my kids act like this, and I'm like, you blaming everybody else, but you don't say yourself. And you don't see your own personality and how it matches up. And my thing was, I was like, I'm not trying to help you no more. Like now I see what you're doing, and I'm gonna just sit back and let karma do its justice. And
Exactly.
I try to throw a bone, right? I try to I teach them or tell them about universal law. Like, hey, this it comes back. This is what happens. Just pay attention to what's happening to other people when they treat people a certain way. You notice these things happening to them, and they sitting back, and the first thing they ask is, "Why has this happened?" And they never
Mhm.
think about what they've done. Because in their mind, they're good people. Yeah, you do stuff for people, but if you use it, you do it not out of your heart, but so you can hold it over their head when they don't agree with you or something. You can just say all I did for you. Then that's not really a good thing. You still gonna get karma for that.
You sure
After so
are.
long of them asking the same question, I'm not talking no more. I'm just be like, it'll be all right. Just pray. I just say something real vague like that, real cursory. And what I'm really thinking in my head is, how does it feel, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like when you gonna learn? But
Yeah.
okay,
Because
Some
that's
of
after
how it
all of
works.
that arguing and back and forth stuff, I don't see how people do it. Maybe because I'm too chill for that. I
Yeah,
really am. I swear it's too much to be arguing and fighting and hollering and screaming all the time.
yeah.
All the time. That's insane. And then when you have these arguments, you say outrageous things, right? You trying to destroy somebody with
Hmm.
some of the things that you say. And that's just like when you brought up Krishan and they keep playing that clip over and over again, how he's saying he's stuck, and she's like, you're not stuck with me. He said, I'm not talking about you. I have a child with you, so I'm gonna be stuck with you for life and all this other stuff. And I'm like, that's the most horrible thing you could say because you were a part of this baby making too. You could have chose not to, but
No,
you didn't.
this narcissism stuff is even the stuff that um Mama Duck's baby daddy is doing to her. That's pure
Mhm.
narcissism right there. Trying to embarrass her, trying to get online, talking about her, airing out their personal
Mhm.
business. If you're arguing with your significant other, you argue with them. You don't get online and include everybody in your arguments, private things like that.
Right, because
Who
that's
who
that's the
um
point of
who
no
started going
return.
live first? I'm sorry.
Well, she didn't start going live. She knows that he's a narcissist. So what he tries to do is every time they have a fight, he go to his family and say that it was her fault. So what she did was she released that video where he drove the car and hit her leg. You understand? Or pinned her
Yeah.
leg, whatever, so that they could see what he did. And that's when everything popped off.
Mhm.
Okay. Because then I saw
And
a
now
video
he's
of him.
trying to get
He was,
attention.
yeah, he was like kind of dogging her out, talking about she got mad because he told her to take a shower or something. Or I'm like, that don't even
He
sound
want
right. Like, what the hell?
attention. 'Cause here's the thing: if you keep saying that you've been with this lady for 15 years, okay? Now I want to see you a guy. You tell me, okay? You've been with somebody for 15 years, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
talking about, oh, she smell, oh, she did this, oh, she did that, oh, she don't clean her house, oh, she don't take care of her kids, and she don't. But you've been with her for 15 years. What does that say about you?
This is how narcissists do. They don't think in that way. It could have been one time the house was dirty. You understand what I'm saying? They'll take
Mm-hmm.
that and forget about all the 30,000 times it wasn't dirty. They'll just
Right.
concentrate on that. As far as him, he got mad because she said something to him because he was on the phone with a chick. See, and
Hmm.
once you check them for that, when they get caught in their shit, that's when they'll try to divert the whole conversation. So to divert everything, he goes and says this, but I'm gonna say this on here exclusively. I saw the video, and if she was smelling, he wouldn't have been doing what he was doing.
There
Right.
you go. And there you
Yeah.
have it.
So
Because,
there's
like
so
I
so
said,
that's
who, if you
yeah, that
go
goes out
ahead,
the window if you see the video or even a picture of what he was doing, because there's no way she could have been what you said if you was doing the things that you did. The why he's doing this is because he's trying to divert that she caught his ass sitting in her driveway on the phone with another chick, and she said
there you go.
something about it. If she would have said nothing, this would have never happened.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. They never like to be called out.
They
And I mean,
can't.
they get unreasonably angry. Like, and another thing, another little red flag that I've realized is anybody who brags about winning arguments. When they say you can't
Hmm.
out argue me or I can win, can nobody argue? That means you will say anything to win, even if it don't make sense. You will just try to say something. You will use anything that they've said to you in confidence, anything that they've poured out their heart to you about. Whatever it is, you will say it just to make a person mad to feel like you won. So
Right.
anybody who hears somebody who brags about how well they can argue, that's probably somebody you don't want to, be too close to.
Yes,
You
and
know what I
then
mean?
they'll start taping you, or they'll start saying that you said things that you didn't say, or they'll say something and you throw it back at them and they'll say they didn't say it. I think that's why
Hmm.
Mama Duck started putting him on film, because she's been going through this narcissism with him. Because I was dealing with a narcissist and I was saying to myself, from now on, when I speak to the person, I'm going to record them. You know what I'm saying? So I know that what she's dealing with, and I know he's a narcissist. He even told me, because we was having an argument, mind you, I didn't even curse. I said, you act like a child. You a grown fucking child." And he said, "That's why women be getting killed, because they don't know when to stop."
See?
Don't you think that's going a little bit too far because somebody called you a child?
Right. I mean, they'll yell out whatever insult and say whatever, but yeah, you say something, then they, want to start trying to up the thing, and it's like, you know, you keep knocking at the devil's door, I'm gonna answer,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna restrain myself no more, but then they look like a victim, you know what I'm saying? But if
When
they
you
are
do
known,
that, you become the enemy.
Right.
I know you dealt with a narcissist, OMC, because you're describing it to the T.
Hmm.
hmm
Tony Ban said that that was his ex-girlfriend. That's how she used to act.
Mm-hmm.
But
you
it's
know,
just,
it's
it's strange, it's weird how, people just, you go to such extreme for some attention because the way I see, like, just like with Mama Duck's guy or ex guy, the way I see him, it's like you just want attention. All of the attention has been on somebody else for too long, and you just cannot take it anymore.
That's how
And what you're
narcissists
doing
are.
right now
They
is
always they
constant,
do
constant
everything. That's
attention.
one of their main goals is to get attention.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
they
validation.
hate it.
Validation is very important for them.
Everything becomes, choose that or me. Even if it's your
Mhm.
job, they're like, yeah, I can't keep calling off. I can't keep being late. You know what I'm saying? You know, okay, yeah, I see. I don't have nobody. They quick to say I don't have anybody, and it's like, well, no, you just don't have somebody at your beck and call 24/7. Go back to your daddy and fix them issues. They'll go to a counselor with your daddy or something, fix them daddy issues.
Mhm.
Quit, poisoning the fucking atmosphere with that bullshit. Because I
Yeah,
mean, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
because it's weird how he says, this is about my kid, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do for my baby because I love her, and so and so who out the damn, right? But you are slamming that kid's mama, which your kid is gonna eventually see. I mean, this is the internet. People
And
are
her friends
recording
might
you,
see that.
putting
Can
it
you
all over.
imagine
So
what she'll go through if her
exactly.
friends throw that in her
And
face?
so how do you care so much for your kid? That's like, when people that, kill their significant other or, their child's mother or father, and they say, I was just thinking about my child. What, unless you were in some type of abusive relationship where you were afraid that, you were gonna get killed or your kid was gonna get killed, what is the point of you, harming somebody and say that the reason is because of your child? Or
That's
you
the
doing all of
narcissism.
this talk.
That's the
Yeah.
narcissism in them. They'll do anything and say anything for people to validate what they're saying. So for them to look for
Mhm.
validation, they'll use things that they know that people get triggered by. A child with a father. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Whatever it is that could fit into whatever is going on.
And
Mhm.
what's worse is when they have people, that just justify whatever they do. Somebody, mainly they family members or something, always back them up with everything. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
Mhm.
what it really is that they don't want to deal with their ass no more. So they're hoping that they work it out with whoever. They will hope that that relationship works out. Like, please, because I don't want to deal with you. You was a problem as a child, and nobody want to deal with them no more. So they hoping that whoever they with stays with them. You know what I'm saying? They might tell them in the beginning, don't mess it up. You know what I'm saying? And their only way, it's a weakness. It's like it really is like a mental illness because that's the only way they know how. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that they're
Mhm.
completely void of love. They just got a really twisted way of
No,
showing it.
they are void of love. No, they don't have the capability of loving someone.
And
They
no, not
only
even.
do it for a purpose.
Mm,
And if you look it up, it's been diagnosed. It's one of the only mental illnesses that there's no cure for.
Mhm.
mm.
Understand? And so they don't have the capability of love. Like, okay, let me use this as an example. I'm dating somebody. I'm not dating him no more, but he's dating a new chick. But she validates everything he says.
Mhm.
But the minute that she doesn't, that love is out the window. The minute she says
Oh, okay,
It's
you
over.
yeah,
wrong, it's a wrap.
It's over with.
You understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
yeah. And then they pass it on.
Mhm.
They can pass it on to children, by how they raise them. If like if they constantly, berating them or, holding something over their head, like promise them something. And then the entire week, it's you better do this or you're not gonna get this. You better do this or you're not, oh well, you can cancel
Mhm.
that now. It's just to create that feeling of everybody needs me, because they want
Mhm.
somebody to be like, oh no, 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 please don't do that. Oh no, no, don't do that, and they be like, no, no, see, and it's like, the minute you say to hell with you, you don't matter, yeah, then they want to get violent, you know.
They say
Right.
that they're not even really capable of truly loving their own children.
They're not.
Mhm.
So you got some parents, some children out here. Yes, they might have a parent, but the parent is a narcissist.
Uh-huh.
So that emotional thing that's needed between a parent and a child is glitched. there's something wrong with that.
Mhm.
So that's gonna fuck with the child head too.
Yep.
Right.
And
Right.
when the children get older, they start reaching a early teens and stuff like that. They start you know having more responses and talking back more, and showing their emotions in their face and stuff. And it's like, you don't really understand where his attitude is coming from. Like, do you not realize how you just talked to them? Do you not realize how
Mhm.
you've treated them? Like, you think they forgot that? They're tired of it. You know what I mean? And they might get physical.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, again, they never think about what they've done. They never see, and that's the frustrating part, is you can't reason with them. You can't get them to see what they're doing. It's always, no, that no, I ain't do, I didn't do that, or I didn't say that, or I that ain't do that to them. And it's like, obviously it is. You know what I mean? But so it's
Mhm.
like, at what point do you just say, all right, I'm not talking anymore?
You gotta just leave them
And
alone.
then you get attitude because you're not communicating.
Right.
Mhm.
So
They get angry when you don't communicate. Because you're supposed to chase them. You're supposed to
right.
chase them.
And then they become
I
more and
know.
more
I can't
cocky,
do it. Mhm.
like, oh, you want me to text you, but you don't text me back right away, or but if I don't, then you calling me, ask me why I didn't, or you know you ask me where I'm going, I'd be like, oh, I'm going such and such, and then if I ask you, you say don't worry about it, or something real vague. You don't get in specifics. And it's nothing even serious. It's not like they could just be going down the street. You know what I'm saying? To their house
Right.
or something like that. But it's just to create that constant, well, where you going, what you doing, da, 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 just to keep attention. That's the goal, to keep, like you said, and see, to keep all attention flowing towards them. If they got to act out, if they got to cause a scene or whatever, you
And
know what I
they'll
mean?
lie too. They'll lie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
you know
Yeah. Yeah.
and when all else fails, start a fight. You know what I mean? Like, get physical to try to get you to respond to them, even if you got to push them off you. And it's like, they want to hit or push or something, and then you wave their hand down. See, you put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. And it's like, what the
Mhm.
hell?
Mhm.
And it's like, don't you see your kids see this? And then the kids start crying. It's like, first thing you do is get loud so the kids can hear. Of course, the kids gonna cry and run down the street or try to call somebody or something. And then it's, you see what you got my kid. You see what you did to my kids. It's like, you did that to
Mhm.
your kids. You know, you couldn't talk at a normal volume. So now you wanted to shout, and now they got involved. So it's like using kids as a shield, it's jacked up. And that person's life will be continually surrounded by chaos. If they don't have their own chaos, they'll find somebody else, one of their homegirls or something. Where they at? Come on, let's go do this. Just want to be in something. And it's like, do you think you not count for something? Like, does it, do you not feel that important? Like, what is it? How small do you really feel inside to act that way?
Right. Because any attention is good attention to them.
What
Right.
up, Dro?
And it's
Sorry, y'all,
weird.
my phone.
Hey, Dro. It's just it's unnerving, especially when you think of them being in a household where there are children and that there's a being that is looking to you for guidance and watching your every move and paying attention to you. And this is how they are going to act eventually, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you just breeding more and more narcissism, as you go along. And then they're gonna do the same thing with you know what I'm saying? Where I don't know if a person that is a narcissist do you think that they could turn around? Is there like counseling that can make that? Because I mean, I
No,
would feel like
it
you
it
would have to change your whole outlook on life to do that.
there's no counseling. They said there's no
Mhm.
counseling or behavioral therapy for that. They said that
Right.
works.
Mhm.
Mm,
It's some narcissists that I see that they caught themselves for whatever reason.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
they're single. It's not that they met somebody and that person changed them. You understand what I'm saying? They just,
yeah.
Mhm.
something happened that made them really take a look at themselves. Some of them went to therapy along with them trying to improve themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's no, like, you can't say, oh, you're a narcissist, you should go see a therapist for that. Mm-mm. They have to do a lot of work themselves.
Hmm.
Right.
And
Right.
most are just don't want to do that, you know, because if what they've done has worked for them, so far, regardless of how much bad they bring to their life, you know, they almost like to brag, like, well, I like to learn the hard way, say stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, but your biggest fear is being alone and being forgotten. And that's what you're creating for yourself.
Mhm.
I mean, that's
Mhm.
the biggest fear. And it gets dangerous because those people will kill someone for trying to leave them. Some can go
Right.
that far as to like literally kill someone for trying to leave them, you know?
Not
So
Mhm.
only trying to leave them, like what triggers them is when you see past their mask. What triggers them is when you see them for who they really are.
Right.
As long as they can keep
okay.
up the facade with you and you never question their behavior, it's all good.
hmm
Mhm. Yep.
And it just keeps on going. So, it's like, yeah, you just gotta go. But the thing is, it's like if if there's children involved, a person tends to try to, fix things for the sake of the children and almost, stand to protect them,
Mhm.
because it's like don't want to subject, and it's like, do I go, like, would it be dirty? Like, all right, you know what? Just to hurt them, be like, I'm gonna call CPS and have your kids taken from you then, something like that. Maybe that'll slow you down, something like that. You need some time alone. How about you ain't
Mhm.
gonna have your kids? You know what I'm saying? Because, you got to,
Right.
it'd be like, I don't need nobody, blah, 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 just be about kids, but your kids hate you now. Like, they're going to leave you. You're going to be alone.
Mhm.
And that's just that.
And I swear to me, that would probably be the worst feeling ever to have where my kids don't want to be around me. They don't want to have anything to do with me. Hey, AZ,
Hey,
I
AZ
wouldn't
King, hey,
be
Dro.
able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even fathom that. What
Like,
what you what you did in their lifetime that would make them not want to be around you ever.
yeah. Like what kind of parent, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all even met parents like this, but what kind of parent is that narcissistic? They want somebody to sweat them so much that they will say things like, I'm just going to run away. I'm going to leave. And they
That's
Mhm.
say
it.
that in front of their kids.
We have so much negative reinforcement. There's nothing anymore really focusing on pure love, like a pure love for your child, pure love for your mother, pure love for your family. There's not even no family shows like that. You know what I'm saying? All the
Yeah.
Mhm.
shows is about get the bag, sex, money, murder. That's all we see in everything. Even the kids with their games and shit. It's sex, money, murder. So this is what we're being saturated with, and it's not enough people. That's why I said it's very important for us to speak on. I felt like it was very important for us to speak on narcissism because it's becoming an epidemic amongst us, and
hmm
it plays a part in a lot of the things that's going on in our personal relationships. So
Yeah.
people need to see
Factual.
red flags. Hmm.
Another thing is, they a partner with a narcissistic partner, they'll talk out both sides of their mouth. You know, they'll say things like, get the F out, you can leave, go, bye, 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 da, 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 da. However, that person will try to make sure that all your finances are depleted as well to keep you from leaving.
Oh, they're
So,
very
Right.
vindictive. They're very, very vindictive.
Absolutely.
they'll try
Absolutely.
to make sure they spend up yours, or try to create a conflict like, she works, I work, what I'm saying? And let's say I got my account and something like that. Now, let's say I'm not doing anything, my money's going towards the household or whatever, what I'm saying? Gas, whatever, snacks for the kids, something like that. She gets paid, nobody's, you know, if they're always accusing you and, they spend their money up and then they're not paying attention, like, you see prices are higher. Where you think the money went? You know what I mean? Like, where am I going? I'm going to
Mhm.
work, home. How is that, a thing? You know what I'm saying? What am I, what did it say to be suspicious of? So it goes back to that, if they're always accusing you, what are you doing type deal, And
Mhm.
you know, may say things like, well, I know where my money went. I don't know what you're doing with your money, because you know, and be asking, well, how much, you know, how come we run out this and this and that? And it's like, are you not paying attention to what you're doing? You know,
Right.
you can go as far as even showing bank statements, but it's like, all right, show me yours, then it's a problem.
Mhm.
Anytime you reverse that, it's a problem. Then it's what, you don't trust me or this or that, or try to be disrespectful or something like that. And then it's like, all right, then stay the hell on. So then when that line is drawn and you maintain that line, they'll just, try to do stuff reckless. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm just go by this. I don't care what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? Or I could do what I want. I don't care, and then it's try to say you're not communicating or you're not doing this. And it's like, get the hell up out of here. The blame will always be on the other person, somehow, some way. And the point is, you cannot be logical. There is no logic. So trying to reason with or get that type of person to see, even though whatever you say, if you say anything you saying to them to anybody else, they'll say, yeah, that makes perfect sense. To them, it will not make sense. They're only listening so they can figure out how to respond, to refute what you said, to have a better argument so they can win. You see what I'm saying? They need to
Right.
win. They need to feel like they won. If they got to, so much, might even want to call your mama a bitch or something, you know what I'm saying? Something real out of pocket, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
they
saying?
real petty. They real petty.
hmm They want to throw up X's in your face or, anything, or, act. And now, mind you, they won't even be doing this stuff. They just want to make it sound like it, you know? They may not be necessarily talking to somebody else. They just try to put it out there and suggest it, just to put that image in your head, you know. That way, you'll chase them and try to keep them and all that. So the point is to unfortunately use narcissism against them, you know,
Hey, Kaya.
Yeah,
Yep.
make it
Better
all
yet,
about
I
leave
you.
agree with
their
that.
ass alone. That's the best thing you can
Well,
do.
yeah, leave their ass alone. Yes, okay, yeah. But I'm saying before that, what I'm saying, leading up to that, just to maintain your peace of mind, as you're preparing to leave, what I'm saying,
Mhm.
is be just as, silence is a killer. Silence
That's
hurts.
a fact. That's a fact.
You know, I think about the first Nightmare on Elm Street, when Nancy at the end, she was like, I'm taking my power back. I'm not afraid of you no more, because that's what he fed off was fear, you know. And then she turned her back and like, you don't matter no more, and walked off, and he tried to stab her and, disappeared and all that. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's, you don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Say, even if you want to hurt him, say those words. You don't matter anymore. Because if you notice, what they'll try to do is make you feel less worth. They'll try to keep you isolated from your family. They'll swear up and down your family don't like them, or they don't want to be around your family. They're afraid, this and that. So you try to accommodate them. They try to keep you isolated from everybody that everything that's familiar to you. They want you to bring you to come
Mhm.
around all their people. So when you get into an argument, they'll say things like, "You don't have nobody. I know everybody." This and that. Just to try to make you feel isolated and alone. They even try to use the kids, Well, I don't even think about you. That's why I just, it's just me and my kids and stuff like that. Try to act like you're not even in the home, like you're just a separate
Mhm.
individual. When you start acting like that, they get mad as hell, because it's like, oh, well, don't come when my wallet's open with your hands, you and your kids, keep it that way. I'll be keeping this aside so I can get the hell away from you. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, they'll change. They'll be real nice. They start love bombing you. They start,
Right.
then they want to talk sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
so okay,
you
so
ain't,
what do you say about when the family, yeah, the family is not gonna like them because they are narcissistic or controlling. And then if for your loved ones, you're not gonna want somebody to be controlling your loved ones. So what
hey,
do you think?
Lexi,
Hey,
Kaya.
Lexi.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Dro up in here too, Tro.
Y'all can hear me?
We hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, he said my name. I didn't think y'all heard me. So, but what I was saying is, okay, so what do they do? Because if you notice somebody with narcissistic behaviors and patterns, like I'm gonna say, as for instance, for me, I'm a mom. If I see my daughter in a relationship and I be like, I don't like that ninja because he seemed like he's
Mhm.
controlling, he got the patterns of abusive behaviors. So, I mean, what do you tell them in that instance? Because until a person wakes up and realize they want to leave, then it's nothing really a person can do or say to that individual until they have, they get fed up or they get the strength to leave. Not per se get fed up, but have the strength to leave.
Yeah. It all you can do is paint as vivid a picture as you can. You see how detailed I'm saying things. So obviously, I'm speaking from personal experience. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you got to do it. That's how you gotta give every possible scenario like a risk assessment almost to that person. So
That sounds good. Okay, so that sounds good, but sometimes us as women, we want the person to change, or you invested so much and you have expectations for that person to
yeah.
change. All women aren't strong enough to say, I'm finna walk away. I literally sent Queen and NC and the other ladies the video where this girl was in an abusive relationship. When she finally wanted to leave, she moved right next door to her mom. Dude followed her one day to find out where she moved to, killed her, shot her best friend, and then he killed himself. And then his brother turned around and kills the friend. The friend actually survived and turned around a few weeks later, killed the friend because he felt like it was her fault that his brother killed himself.
Oh,
Mm, 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 mm,
wow.
mm, mm.
That's an extreme case, man. Um,
Yeah,
I don't even know what to
that's
say to that, man.
crazy.
That just blew me. Like, I mean,
I'll post it on my community page, so you can see the video. But as a matter of fact, that was in Mobile, Alabama, where it happened at.
okay, all right. I see. Oh yeah, right here, best Shamika. Okay.
Hey,
No,
Um.
Queen.
I haven't posted it yet.
Oh,
But
and I'm sorry. That was that Beezy. She said Jasmine Fields in Alabama and her best friend Shamika K. Sound. Okay, it was something else. It's something different. I
no,
remember
that
seeing
no,
that
that's
Alabama.
it. No, that's it. What that BZ said. That's the story. She posted it. She posted the link.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm looking at the comments right here from the chat, and I came in. I came in a little bit later, so I didn't hear this part, but I just saw the comment, and when you mentioned Alabama, I scrolled up and remembered it was up there.
And then you heard about the girl, the young lady who had 4 kids. Her husband turned around and killed her. I want to say, um, her mom ended up losing 4 kids since 2006,
Mm.
and she was
And
the
now
only.
she got four more to take care of because she got four sons.
I know two of her sons died. One died from illness. The one son was murdered. Her daughter died from COVID, and then her second daughter died the other day because her baby daddy killed her.
Yeah, but now
Um,
that Imani is gone, she got to take
Wow.
Imani's four sons now.
and I think she got. Do she have the other daughter children too? The other daughter was actually a writer, a self-published author.
Damn. See, that's all right. I want to ask y'all this. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Just you telling me that I started my head started buzzing. That don't feel natural to me. That feels like spiritual. That feels like curse type stuff. Queen, what you think? Like when stuff like that happen, when you hear that back and forth like that, what up, Kenny? That don't it just some things just don't feel right. You're like you hear a lot of murders, it's like it's just some killing, boom, violence. Violence for violence sake. When stuff like that happens, especially when, a mother, I start wondering like, is there something on the mother? You know,
It could be,
I even bring
it
up,
could be some kind
Mama
of
Duck.
trauma or something a parent might have been involved with, or an ancestor was involved with.
I was gonna say, yeah. Sometimes that be your generation be cursed on to the third, fourth, fifth generation. So, but
Because I think about Mama Duck, you know what I'm saying? Lashina, I'm gonna start calling Mama Duck. Lashina, like how she must be feeling, you know what I'm saying? I seen how many kids she lost, and how things been up until now. And it's like, what's
Well,
to her? It's like,
here's the thing about Chicago, period, and this is no disrespect to Chicago, but there's a lot of portals open over there.
okay.
So what I'm saying about is that you have to be vibrating on a certain level. You have
What
to
up,
have
Dale?
a certain amount of knowledge in order to protect yourself from those type of energies intercepting your life. It's something about you that is there spiritually to protect you, but sometimes you could be around people that can destroy that protection for you. You got to pick the right people to be around as well. You feel me?
Uh-huh. And I don't know if it was you who said this, Queen. You had, when you speaking on Chicago and portals, I don't know if it was you or somebody else who said something about the land, the area where Cabrini Green is, how like it's a dark like energy like center or something like that. Like even before
From the time
Cabrini
the
Green was built.
Irish, because Chicago and New York, their first gangs were Irish and Italians. The
Uh-huh.
Irish, the Irish was over there prior to them building um Cabrini Green, and they used to call the land that it was built on, that particular area, the Curse Land or Little Hell. You can look it up; it's online.
Okay.
If you go to the history of Cabrini Green, it'll tell you everything about that. It was so many bodies over there before, so much killing that was happening over there. And then they built Cabrini Green on top of it. And also, prior to that, in the early Freemasonry days, they were doing a lot of rituals out there in Chicago. It's in my Freemasonry book. It's in there.
Mm,
So
okay.
I'm not just making this shit up. Hello, what's up, Dale? What's up, Kenny? And pulling it out the sky. When I first started seeing what was going on in Chicago, my first thought was to go and look at the history. So I went all the way back to the 20s. You even had Aleister Crowley, who was the father of all of this Satanism shit. He was doing big rituals out there.
Wow. Okay. And I mean, I don't even feel comfortable when I go back. Whenever I go back to Chicago, or whatever, and I always ask myself, it's like, man, why don't I fit here? Like, yeah, I mean, I had a social life, I had friends and stuff, but it was just something like, I was attached to what I know, so I called it home. But once I left, and I go back, I'd be like, I never fit here. You know what I'm saying? It's like I couldn't adjust completely to the Chicago way of life, as you mean, if you mean, just that constant hustle and bustle, just going and going and going. You know what I'm saying? It bothered me. And now even more so as I've gotten older and been away longer, when I come back, it just don't even feel the same. And now, learning that, about these portals and how things were done and before things were built on top of something, now it all makes sense. It makes sense from my area, from the Austin community. That's where I live at on the west side. That's one of the most violent, obviously. And
If you go back to the 20s, there's a dude named Drillmatic 101. He does these videos, the most horrific murders in Chicago.
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
You'll see he'll go back to the 20s. It started really in the 20s where all these murders started happening. It was even before the gangs came up, and it was even before the mob and all that shit was going on. So
Right.
it's something that was there, that was open. And it's not only there because you got just as much things they was doing over there in LA too, and New York City, which is the three big cities. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's how these people get down.
And I don't see no end in sight for it. So,
I
but
want to see. I was looking at that video on your page. I watched that video probably like 4 times. That dude was stuck painting that, doing the graffiti on the wall. Like I was like, he can't even press the button.
yeah, I mean, like seriously,
Right.
like if you ever seen the movie Silent Hill or played the game or seen somebody playing a game, there's
Mm-hmm.
these creatures in there that stand these they dress like nurses and they don't have eyes and stuff. They go off sound or whatever, or motion. And you make a sound, they have knives in their hand, they just still stuck just like they were. And if you move or something, they all just pop up and they start stabbing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they reminded me of. That creeps me out. That's why I had to share it, man. I'm like, this is creepy as hell. Like, man, like what kind of? Well, I already know it is Trank or whatever, but and I was trying to post another one, but it wouldn't post. It was like this dude, he was laying there. I mean, you could see his legs, his flesh is just eating away. You know what I'm saying?
So is
He ain't gonna have no
that the
legs in
drug?
another 6 months.
Is that the drug that they mix with like the horse tranquilizer or whatnot?
Yeah. It can tranquilize horses. He
I'm just
said,
trying to figure out what person would want to actually put that shit in their damn veins. Like, oh my gosh.
escaping. They're escaping to some place. Whatever it is in life, they not happy with. They're not fighting it no more. They just trying to be on out. You know what I'm saying? If they die in the midst of that, that's fine with them. They've made peace with that. If whatever peace means to them, that is their peace. That's it. They've given up. I don't even think rehab will even help them, man, because that's just too far gone.
How do you want to be? Like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Excuse my
but
French.
I didn't want to lose my thought, Kai. Going back to the narcissism thing, as far as preparing somebody, um, you know, that until the person's ready to leave, like I was saying, just be as detailed as possible. Try to give them many scenarios. This is how the person will argue. They'll try to use these things. They'll say these things. That way, as much as you give them, when they do have an incident with them, they'll recognize it. They'll be like, oh, such and such said you would say this, or they'll be thinking to themselves, oh, such and such told me you'll act like this, or you'll try to do that. Just the methods, what I'm saying? It may not happen exactly like you described it, but the method will be the same, and they'll recognize it. Maybe and if they still don't leave, I mean, it's up to them, but that's the only way you can prepare.
My thing is, for anybody who's in an abusive relationship, get an exit plan. You don't tell them that you're going to leave. Put you up a nice cushion and put you a little something away, because you never know if that person's going to go off the deep end and kill you, themselves, and your children, because you just don't know at the type of mind frame people are currently in these days.
Exactly. We was just talking about that earlier. It's very, very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous.
Big Dale, OMC from Chicago.
Well, what you talking about? I ain't got the comments up. Hold up.
What are you saying, Dale? We don't know about it. What are you saying, Dale?
Oh, I mean, I know about the same Chicago. I mean, what? He ain't. I'm 43. He ain't that much older than me. You know what I'm saying? So I know that Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I know the same. The same structure, the same things he talking about, laws and all that. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I came up in the 90s. You know what I mean? So I know that Chicago. What's going on right now? Yeah, I don't know about that, but you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to understand what's going on in Chicago.
We're not talking about when somebody been there and when somebody hasn't been there. We're talking about the origins of some of these things that's happening with these people, the things that they do that the public doesn't know about. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Chicago in the way that you think we're talking about it.
Yeah, but hey, and then I ain't been there. Well,
hold on, wait.
What does it matter if he's from? He's not from Michigan, Dale.
Hold on.
That's a fake page. That's a fake page. It's okay.
Hold on. This my thing.
Okay.
First, let me see if that's his real page. Hold on.
It's a fake page. I look.
Oh, it is. Oh, somebody trolling. Cause I'm like, hey, wait, Dale don't talk like that.
Block him, cause he throwing off what we saying. Block him.
I was gonna say that ain't Dale. Like Dale don't talk like that. I'm like, that man ain't that much older than me.
Come in here and say that's stupid shit. Yeah.
I'm like, come on, I know they ain't trying to argue like
that. This the thing though. Y'all can't pull up a live where I talked about on anybody live I ever been a moderator on or whatnot. Y'all don't even hear me talk about Chicago politics. I don't get in Chicago business like that. Now, the shit they hit the internet, if they look silly as hell on their IG lives, I might comment on some shit like that. But far as Chicago politics, can't nobody pull up a live from past, present, or currently where I spoke about anything about Chicago business. Okay, back to you, OMC.
But that's not Dale, so you didn't even have to address that. That's not him.
Right, I didn't know. I mean,
but hold on, Queen. Because when one day I was on Swipe Live, he did say that to me, so I thought that was him.
That's not him. We that wasn't even him. See, that's what they like to do. They like to come in people's stuff. They will go as far as steal pictures to start a fucking argument. I can't stand these people.
What's the thing though, Queen? I don't like when they be ready to start some drama and all the other bullshit on the internet. I don't entertain that because can't nobody say anything. They'll try to put people in shit, but the best response is no response sometimes.
That's a fact. But I'm gonna tell y'all how I started figuring out they do that. Just when you see people coming here with somebody's name, hit that fucking thing and it'll say go to their channel. You'll see they only got 1 or 2 doggone subscribers or something like that. You feel me? That's how you know it's not them.
Right.
But Queen, I got a backup page which it says I am oh shit, I don't even know the name of the backup page, but I got a backup page when I was when my page got struck for showing the video of the girl and the teacher having a fight. So I got one subscriber on that page. So I don't want y'all to think, oh, this somebody else trolling, because sometimes people have backup pages. I just wanted to address it because I seen it because it occurred before. So, most of the times I'm silent and I don't be on nobody BS, but I'm not finna have nobody coming on me while I'm on the internet, especially when I'm not talking about nothing pertaining to a certain city. I don't even talk about Florida shit.
Yeah, this person that said talk about peace, ladies, and I could tell. That's what made me say. First of all, let me see if that's really him, because you'll feel it, you pick it up after a while. You pick up on that shit. You'll just know.
Right. But I mean, even when somebody says that, I mean, you see it all the time. People make comments, you're not even from here. You came, no, you can't speak on, I'm not gonna even talk about the specifics of Chicago street politics like that, because I ain't in that. What I can talk about is the correlation of the violence. I don't care what part of the world. I can use, y'all have heard me, make the correlations between how, here's a state, the internationally, how the same is the same setup, even all the way down to the street level. There is no difference, you know what I'm saying? In that, anybody can speak on anything. You could plug any city. The violence and the reason for the violence is the same. And so you
Once
can
you
make
get
that
to the
commentary.
core of it, once you get to the core of it. But I see what Kai is saying. But I know that these people, this is exactly what they wanted to do. They threw off the conversation we was having.
Oh, but we know how to direct it back. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes we got to direct the bullshit, nip it in the bud, because we not finna have that on our pages. All that stuff that was going on the other pages, we not finna be playing with y'all like that. I'm not.
See that person, also that person that came in here, we wasn't even talking about Chicago like that in that type of way. So
Right.
it just didn't feel right what the person said. We wasn't talking about it like that.
Now, somebody who out there really talking about Chicago and being very disrespectful is that Ed Glizzy. He's been very disrespectful with it.
It's who?
Yeah, we talked
Yes,
about him.
he is. Aunt
Mm-hmm.
Glizzy.
Y'all talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
You said Shy Glizzy?
Ed
Ed
Glizzy.
Glizzy.
Aunt Glizzy?
His name
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Barbara Son TV on YouTube.
yeah, I've seen the name. I ain't never heard, like, watching on his content, and I've seen his name on a couple of feeds, something related to him. But that's another thing, man. Like, what's with these names, bro? I know we talk about narcissism. That's the topic we was on. So, we ain't even forget. But you go around, it's like just within these drill circles, man, everybody's got these names. I mean, we always talk about the monas all the time, you know what I'm saying? But you see one person use a name, then all of a sudden you see people from all over the country use the same kind of name, whether it's
But I
Glizzy
think he,
or
I think
Mana.
he, I think he ran with Shy Glizzy at one time.
Glizzy gang. I think I seen that name pop up somewhere.
Yeah,
Sometimes he talks sense. Sometimes he talk a whole lot of sense, and then these people get up here and they make a whole lot of sense, and then they turn around and do some dumb shit. It never fails.
Yeah, it just goes to show, like, it's the pull of the street. Maybe it's as simple as peer pressure. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
don't
a
think
lot.
it's peer pressure. I
I,
think a lot of people think that's the way to get clout and get attention.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna do something on this whole, like with this, YGs or whatever, going, dissing O Block and back and forth, and I'm like, what the fuck y'all got to do with each other, bro? You know what I'm saying? They filmed the video. The guys on O Block filmed the video with somebody, and he dissed one of the dudes, from New York, and then they put up a
mhm.
live right later on, and they started dissing this dude. I forgot his name,
Didi
and
Osama.
yeah, Didi Osama, yeah,
I
yeah.
found it. Hmm.
And then now the dudes in New York, they they diss Vaughn and some other people, you know what I'm saying? How I go. And then I see a video where Tay Savage and a couple of his guys, they in New York, you know what I'm saying? Basically like a call out, Not
They
it
was
was like
in Philly. They was in Philly playing at the site where uh Gilly's son passed away. A lot of
okay.
people ain't talking about that. They're not talking that part.
Uh
Yeah.
They trying to find a way to keep the drama going between these major cities, Chicago and New York. That's how I'm looking at it.
man, but
Because
it's so many New
what do
Yorkers that
DC?
show love for Chicago. It's like anybody that they on their own with that, because it's plenty. It goes both ways, man. It's plenty of love, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's them. You know what I'm saying? Like most New Yorkers ain't even on it. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a thing of like I just heard this dude talking about the slang and stuff that we exchange. You know, like yeah, we got thoughts from y'all, but y'all got wacky from us. We was doing that. You know, it's like that, just like Chicago and Detroit. You know what
You
I'm
see
saying?
what Judah said? He said when you run out of options, swipe a voice. Shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's a vibration that we have. It's a vibration. So no matter how much they try to separate us, by us having these type of communications now, where we talk to each other from different states, we see, yeah, we might call something different, but we still all the fucking same.
All right, we got another one. Somebody
Mhm.
coming with the ghetto DVD thing. I bet that's a fake page
Just
too.
block them. That's all. Block them.
I got it.
I was gonna say,
Oh, Judah got
I
it.
don't know. I already addressed you, buddy. Check your DM, or I could screenshot it and put it on my community page.
It's a fake page.
I
Hmm.
don't.
Said man, but
Now you get somewhere and see you got trolls now, so that means you know
yeah,
Nah,
what you need to do.
I don't
You're gonna
want
have to
none.
start
I don't
modding. You're
want
gonna
it.
have to start modding us up now.
yeah, right.
Man,
Gotta throw them
I
wrenches
got
up.
you. For real. 'Cause it's
It's been what I'm
crazy.
like. You got trolls. It's official. You a YouTuber real now.
I don't want none of that.
You know. But back to the narcissism. You know, it's a lot of reasons why a person doesn't leave right away. You know, mainly like especially if there's kids and stuff like that. You know, you don't want to affect them. So yeah, you do try to give it some time to see if it turns around. But once you see there is no turning around, there you just got to make that
Mhm.
hard choice. Um, Now, getting the kids to understand that, you know, because especially if they've dealt with men leaving before and they've got issues with that, they don't inside they know mom's to blame, but they're children and that's their mom. You know how it go. No matter how toxic they are, they're still their mom. You know, until they get older and say the hell with you. But while they still dependent
Mhm.
on that mother, which is why these kind of mothers will, or these kind of parents. I'm going to say mothers. These kind of parents, mothers and fathers,
Mhm.
will try to disarm their children, like try to keep them dependent. Try to keep them learning as little as possible, where they always have to do everything for them, and then complain about having to do everything for them. You know,
Hmm.
Right.
but it also to reinforce that you're worthless without me. I got to do everything. Everything that they do, it could be as simple as buying toilet tissue from the damn stove because the toilet tissue ran out. They got to make that seem like they just slayed a dragon and saved the fucking princess or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
wanted, God, I got to do everything around here. It's like, what do you want? Like, did you say what you needed? Communicate. Remember, what do you want? Like, oh, how was anybody supposed to know what you needed? You didn't say anything. Forget it. I'll just do it myself. Like, what the hell is that?
But
You
what
know?
is also important also about when you're dealing with a narcissist is that you can't carry what experience you had with a narcissist over to another person. That's another problem that we have. We tend to categorize people and we don't let people be individually, look at them individually. You have to have some type of partiality with that because you might be dealing with somebody and you get scarred like just the way you are actually a victim when you get out of a narcissistic relationship. And those things stick with
Right.
you. You try to avoid going through that again. And sometimes you can, take whatever you went through with somebody else and put it on to another person.
Well,
That's
I
true
mean, I
too.
could vouch for that. I mean, yeah, I was always like, I couldn't be with someone because I was always too busy, like on the sideline, like just a few steps back from the
Mhm.
relationship in a sense, like in it, but not completely in it, because I'm looking for signs. I'm always looking for the next thing, and it affects things, because I'm pulling myself away, and a person can't know me because I'm always looking for the okey doke. I'm looking for the other shoe to drop always, and that's a bad place to be,
It is a bad
Right.
thing. Yeah.
because
And I
they ain't
think
had
that's
nothing to
a
do with
part of some of the reasons why we have such bad relationships too, because we haven't learned how to leave that bad one where that bad one was. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep holding on to baggage and baggage and baggage. You know,
Yeah.
like Erica Badu was talking about bag lady. You just holding
Mm-hmm.
on to all of this stuff that you can't open yourself up to anybody, you know? And it's like I would tell people all the time when they that you need to learn yourself first before you can ever be in a relationship with somebody, right? So then you know what it is that you'll accept, you'll know what it is that, you know, when people say settle for or whatever. But once you find something in someone that is not right and you know that you cannot go with that, and then you know your relationship goes toxic because you're still trying to stay because you don't want to be alone, and then you once you finally break free and you get to this other relationship, it's like, oh no, you said, you called me a dummy. That's what he used to say. And oh my God, you're gonna be just like him, you know, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it carries over and carries over and carries
Okay, but
over
what if you see the
until you're
warning
the
sign
toxic one.
from the previous relationship? You
Well,
know.
Say
that's
what?
fine. If you see the warning signs from the previous relationship and you can turn it around and do what you need to do. But when you carry that baggage over and you make your current relationship just like your old relationship,
Yeah.
Right.
because you're starting to act the same way that you did at the time when you were in the toxic one.
Right. And that's another thing with a narcissist also,
Okay,
you
so
know, because they probably were in a relationship with a narcissist worse than them. You know, I don't know
mhm,
if a narcissist can turn another person into a narcissist. I don't know if, you know, because narcissists seek to control, you know, and try to form someone in their image in a sense, you know.
mhm,
That's another warning sign. But, you know, they'll be in a relationship with you and you'll be walking on pins and needles because that's all they'll do is compare everything to that last person, and you're doing your damnedest to not repeat what you know, what that last person did. But then you realize it was just another manipulation tactic. You know what I'm saying? That they're just as much of a victimizer as they were a victim. You know, that they were just two toxic ass people together and they belonged together. You know what I'm saying? It was just they, you know, they were going to kill each other literally. You know, like somebody was going to die
We're gonna
because
destroy each other. Yeah.
one person wanted to, you know, dominate the other and always be right. And when two people are like that together, and that's that, it's not just relationship. That's, you know, with a parent and a child. You know, I've seen that. You know, a person and a parent. You know, they exact same personalities. Like, what the hell is like? Don't y'all realize why y'all fighting so much? Y'all sound just alike. Like, what the hell? You know, and everybody else is stupid. You know, they don't like to be called stupid and all that, but you know, they always claim they have an anger issue or something and they'll work on it. But they call other people stupid and retarded. Another thing to look for with that is they're asking you about everything you do. You know, you could probably be like, you know what, I'm gonna use a cup today instead of using a glass, and I'm gonna pour this Kool-Aid. You know, they'll be like, why are you using that glass? Oh, I just wanted a big glass. But you know, why are you using that instead of this? Because you could have did that. You know, they got a suggestion, they got to interfere and just like question everything you do. And you know, if you don't do what they suggest, they'll just like shake their head or something, or be like, all right, well, you know, just want to do it. You know, try to
I
always
ain't
make
gonna
you
strip me.
unsure.
I,
Try to
I
make
I wouldn't have no time and no energy for that. I just like just forget it. Just forget it.
right.
right.
It's
Well, see,
like
and then they take that as surrender. You know, like, haha,
no,
I won.
no shit. Hell no. I'd be like, forget you, the relationship, all that. Like, nah,
Oh, okay. I was just about
no,
the situation, but
mm-mm,
that's what they do.
mm-mm.
They'll ridicule everything you do, like it's wrong. Their goal is to make you feel like everything you're doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was right yesterday, you know, it's about keeping things off balance, you know, in their favor, obviously. And so,
Mhm.
you know, you could be like, I'm gonna go change this trash can out. You know, the trash can's full, been sitting there full. They ain't changed it. Then you go and grab the bag. Why you doing that? I was finna do that. Well, I'm doing it right now, so don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Ain't no thing, right? Just a plastic bag. But I was finna do that though. Why you doing that? You know? And if you continue to do it, then it's, see, nobody listens to me. Nobody's doing what I say, you know? And you're like, it's a damn trash bag. It's full. The shit is falling out. What the hell are you arguing about? You know, it's about control to try to get you to not to do what you was about to do and get to do what they want to do. It's everything is a
Mhm.
competition. They are literally in a popularity contest with another parent for the kids. They need to be popular. They need to be front and center. So they will argue with everything you do. Everything is stupid. You know what I mean? Now they'll probably go and do the same thing. They'll complain about how you drive. You don't drive fast enough. You drive too slow. You this and that. And then they probably hit curbs and everything. And then it's like, oops, I'm sorry. And it's like, yeah, but if I said and called you stupid for that or ridiculed you, then it's a problem. It's like one of those things. And don't pull up in here. Please don't pull up in here. We're closed. Look at the sign, people. Thank you. I mean, it flips me out, man. These people, man, like
What?
they putting some on
What
this
up,
weed, man.
Chico?
You
What's
sweet
up?
soul for real?
What up? What up? Oh, it's my extra. Whoa, damn.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. And see, like when I'm speaking, even though I'm speaking from personal experience, so I'll say she because I was with a female. But that applies to males too. So I'm not singling one side out over the other. It's just when I'm speaking, these things that I'm describing, I literally went through. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can just go into it. Because it's little tiny little things like that. It's a daily thing, and it's meant to break you psychologically and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? I look at it at a spiritual sense too. Like, when they're just well, they say, I'm just picking, you're too sensitive. You know what I'm saying? But they're saying offensive shit. You know what I'm saying? That if you said half of what they saying to you, to them, they be pissed, even though you just playing. They're not just playing. They're
Hmm.
trying to exact
Nope.
control of a person. They'll try to tease a person. They'll try to tease, oh, stop, well, I guess you're going to whine now. Oh, well, and that pisses you off. If you get mad, they'll be doing it with a smile and a laugh. So if you get mad, then you're too sensitive. So next time they do it, you won't say anything. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be looked at as too sensitive. No, it ain't bothering me, but it is bothering you. But you don't want to say nothing because now you're trying not to get them the satisfaction of saying, oh, I was right, you sensitive. You know what I'm saying? So now they'll try to just go and they'll try to hold you to standards they don't hold themselves. Like, don't hold my past against me. Please don't bring this up. But they will bring everything up about your past or anything. Like if you've done something wrong and made a mistake, they'll hold that over your head. If you do the same thing, then they'll say, see, you're trying to hold my damn past against me. See, you promised you weren't going to do that. They'll try to make you promise. So they're like, you promised. And it's like, well, if you're going to do the same thing, to hell with a promise.
They never really forgive you. They hold it against you. Hi,
Yeah.
Caramel.
Welcome, Caramel.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Street Code.
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to everybody page.
So this is how, these are just the little nuances, the day-to-day things, anybody that's in a relationship with these type of people, these are little things you will see. These are the nuances, you know what I'm saying? The things that eventually build to, I had no domestic anything. Oh, damn. Yeah. She was a poison, man.
See?
Straight venom.
There you go.
Um, it's those little things. In and of itself, it sounds like a small thing, but this can go on from day to day. And then there might be periods of peace. Okay. But that's just as calculated. You know, that means they probably need you for something or they got to ask you for something. They're trying to butter
Exactly.
you up.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
But in the
saying?
back of their mind, they conjuring up the next episode.
They're hypersexual all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, because then you'd be like, oh, well, if the relationship is still new, a couple of years in or something like that, you're like, okay, maybe this
Hmm.
person is trying. That's what it appears like. You're gonna get a benefit of the doubt naturally. You love them, okay, fine. And things are going great. Y'all talking, y'all joking, laughing and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden it's like you changed. You don't laugh like you used to, and you'd be like, damn, we was just joking and laughing. Oh, what are you talking about? And see, when you provide evidence like that, especially if it's recent, and you'd be like, what are you talking about? I did this and I did this. We was joking. This. I haven't did said anything. They'll have this blank look on their face, looking down because now they caught. They can't. That cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, I want to be right. I need to think of something. They can't think of anything. So what they'll do? They'll try to give you silent treatment. Forget it. Forget it. You just don't understand this and this and that. So if you really want to, now
When
mind
you
you, this
do a
could,
silent treatment and you grown, though, goddamn, we grown. We should be able to communicate.
well, hey, they
See,
need to
I
win.
think I'm so strong minded, but I used to be like
Right.
very submissive. But then when a person start walking, I'm not gonna let nobody walk over me because sometimes you be submissive or you let your guards down and want to give the person the benefit of the doubt, and they'll take feel like they can control you in a sense, but like
Yeah.
nah.
And it will never stop. They will try to control more and more and more. And this is the thing. Like when I was talking about the finances, kept accusing me and accusing me and accusing me of doing things. So it's like, all right, we got this little box here or a little bag or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we make, we contribute this much to the bag. You know what I'm saying? The little pouch or whatever we kept. Different things we kept in. All right. And it was like, all right, anything that comes out, make sure you write it down on this paper, deduct, so we know the exact amount that's in there. They won't do that. You know, they get, and then the whole point is they want to, well, I'll say, she wanted to keep it to herself. And then you start finding out, oh, well, yeah, I didn't tell you this, but I loaned this person this money. Like, because they start arguing with people over money and stuff like that, and they be like, see, I didn't even tell you this part because I loaned them this, and this, and that. And be like, but you didn't communicate that to me. Because like money I work for is in there too. So, now you're sitting here stressed
What?
out and you want to
Okay, I
lash
got a
out at the
question. So what if she would have loaned it out her own personal bank account? Would you have had a problem with you?
if it was out of her account, no. But this is the like me and like this was our thing. Like even if it was that, you know what I'm saying? Now this is the one that's stressing the communication. So it's like communicate with me. Quit doing stuff behind my back with finances because then you want to fight with me or or something like that or lash out at the kids when you get stressed out when ain't no money around, bringing more drama to the house. But let me not do that. It'll be a whole different thing. You'd be like, see, you don't communicate. So I'm just throwing it back. You know what I'm saying? And it's like all you got to do is deduct it. Just show you deducted it. What it is you don't want to have the respect you know, to tell me what you're doing. Just let me know. Ain't no problem. Hey, somebody need a couple of hundred. All right, cool. Just make sure you write it down so I know what's in there. But if I keep looking in there and I see less and less, I don't know where it's going. It ain't going to this household. So it's like, all right, where is it going then? If you want to get mad that I'm asking, then don't ask me shit else about my finances. I won't put nothing else up in here. When it's time to get paid, don't be how much you putting in there. Don't worry about it. I ain't putting nothing in there because obviously you don't want to have the respect to say, to ask me, because that's the thing. They want control, so they don't want to have to ask another person. But when they have that in there and you got the majority of your money in that bag, and then they're sitting there trying to hand it back to you, like, do you need some here? I'm gonna give you some of this for that. Like, don't try to dole my own fucking money that I work for out to me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Keep that motherfucker in the armoire in a neutral spot. So when both of us going up there, we writing it down, deduct this $20 out. Now we know how much is in there. That way, ain't nobody controlling nobody. It's all equal. Like I said, don't want equality, want inequality in their favor. I say that for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. You getting
Manipulative
it off
bullshit
his
like that.
chest.
I ain't talking out the side
Hell
of my neck, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying?
hey D. That's but I mean, I understand where you're coming from because, like, when you're in these controlling relationships, right? It's weird how, and I keep saying weird because it's weird to me. It's weird how the control goes from what you wear to how you do your hair to what you purchase to how you eat to the way you walk, all of these different things, right?
Uh-huh.
But then the person that's doing the controlling, they're not doing the same thing. It's weird. So, like, a friend of mine was like that. She had a guy that was so controlling, and he was like, "That color doesn't look right on you. I only want you to wear this color. When you walk to go outside, I want you to be on this side of the street, and all of this nonsense, right? I want you to wear your hair this way. You cannot wear makeup. If you put on some jewelry, I only want you to wear this certain kind of chain and stuff like that." And I'm looking at him like, why your shoes busted, bro? What's wrong with your mouth? When's the last time you been to the dentist? Why
Caramel
you
made
talking
media.
about somebody else? Are you serious? It was insane. I've never
Yeah.
been in that situation, but I know someone that have. Yeah, it's
What
it's
up, Big
crazy.
D made media? Caramel.
Right. Big D finally caught one. Big D the one he got all them stories.
They know I'm considered Terry. um,
I
but
know
and
that's
see,
right, Caramel.
it's and, okay, it's so many little scenarios. You know what I'm saying that that a person
Hmm.
can see. It'll be so many scenarios because it's their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? While you with that
Right.
person, it becomes your lifestyle. So you can describe to the T just different things. It may not happen that same way in somebody's relationship, but you'll notice that daily, you know,
No.
if you're not careful, you'll find yourself explaining the smallest actions. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like literally, we in a room, I get back from work and stuff like that. And this, it's like I'm grabbing my stuff. I'm finna go take a shower. Why are you taking a shower? The fuck kind of question is that? This is literal.
Right.
I ain't making this up. This is literal. Why are you taking a shower? Cause I'm sweaty. I need to. I want to be clean. I'm dirty. Like what? Why are you asking that? It's the need to
Hmm.
control. Why you just it's and even petty stuff. I'm gonna take a shower. Why you got to take it now? Why you come on? Wait for me. I want to take a shower with you or something like that. And then here it is 1 a.m. They fell asleep and shit. I'm not gonna take a shower now. I'm gonna just wait. What the fuck? You just wasting my time.
He said, "What the
But
fuck?"
see, it's about diverting you. It's about control. Ha, I won. I stopped you from doing what I'm petty stuff like that. So then
Hmm.
if I just say,
Hmm.
I'm just gonna take a shower, then it's, why you taking a shower now? Because I'm dirty. How dirty are you? I can't smell you. I smell me. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to put your face down on my drawers and smell my nuts? You know what I'm saying? I smell me. Damn. So it's like, and then you hear the lip smacking and little sighs and shaking head. And it's like, what's wrong with me taking a shower? Tell me, explain to me.
Hmm.
You stop when you do stuff like that. Explain to me, what's wrong with that? I don't know. Exactly. Shut the fuck. It's just like, they don't even understand their own narcissism half the time.
Caramel, that's right. You have to be careful in how you address them. Hey, Chris, you do because that's a part of it and a part of the control thing, and that's how people get hurt or killed or whatever because you have kind of confronted them on their actions, and how
Yeah.
dare you do that?
Just to simply try to get them to make sense. Like, I've literally stopped and was like, no, let's finish this thought process out. Let's figure this out. I just want to know
Hmm.
why you felt you needed to do that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's always the question. I don't know. It's like you don't even know what you're doing. You're just a mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have a
Hmm.
soul? Like, I need to break it down. Like, I try to break it down because that's what I like to do. That I like to analyze. So it's like I like to break it down. Like, let's see what's the nature of it. Where is it coming from? Why did you need? What did you feel you were gaining or losing if I did or didn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Then I ask you
Hmm.
direct. Do you feel like you won? Something like that? I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to know. You know. Fine, I won't ask nothing else then. Oh, there's another tactic right there. Fine, I won't ask nothing else then. I won't
Right.
worry. I'm tired of worrying about. I'm always trying to worry about you. Damn, I don't worry about me. I'm just taking a shower. This is all about a shower now. You know what I'm saying? Then it turned to I'm not gonna worry about you no more. What the hell kind of shit is that? You know
Hmm.
what they wanted?
And it's
Because here's another thing to look out for. And
All right, girl.
this
All
is
right.
what y'all are here.
I'm gonna call you when I get home.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry, that's my background.
uh-uh.
Mm. Here's something that y'all are here. Y'all probably heard it a billion times. Right after that, I won't worry about you no more. Here's the other thing. Well, you were supposed to do this and this and this and that, or you'd be like, why you didn't let me give you a scenario.
Who that?
Oh man, I'm out of pop. Okay. I go do what I'm doing,
You want to speak
continue
on
what I'm doing. And then it's like this, the body language,
narcissist?
snatching the keys off the
Yes.
table.
Narcissists, men and women. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, my
All right.
daughter.
Hi, y'all. Hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
Hi.
what's
How
going
Hey,
are
on?
you?
how's everybody?
Good.
Pretty good.
So, what's the topic of right now? Talk about narcissism.
Narcissism.
What's the question?
Narcissism.
I don't know how.
I
I
was just
oh.
I was just giving some scenarios and things to look out for, that's common amongst narcissism as far as the control and the manipulation tactics. And I was just incorporating a few incidents, that I've personally gone through. Um, what I was talking about was the whole thing of them speaking as if you have to go by some kind of script. And that's like my smart ass answer. And it's like, well, I didn't see that in the script. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, damn, stop reading romance novels. It ain't finna happen like that. It's not finna happen the way you want unless you open your damn mouth. If you say, oh, damn, I'm out of pop, I'm not your trained dog. I'm not just finna say, oh, I'm gonna go to the store and get you some pop. I want to hear you be courteous enough to fucking ask me like you have some respect. Can you go get this? No, if I don't just offer right away, I'm finna snatch the keys off the thing and boom and slam stuff and or better yet, oh man, I gotta go to the store for something, this and this and that. And then they procrastinating for 45 fucking minutes. And then finally, they walking off fast and slamming the door and leaving. They pissed off because you didn't offer. You didn't go by the script. Obviously the producers didn't send you the script. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't offer like they expected you to. In their head, you're supposed to say, "Oh no, I got it, baby. I'm gonna go get it." And they'd be like, "Okay," or they'd be like, "No, I got it," and you'd be like, "No, I got it," and this and that. They really want that. Like in their head, they want this. That's how they want to play out. If it don't play out exactly like that, they're pissed. And then you'll say something like, "Why didn't you ask me?" They'll never come out and say I shouldn't have to because they know that's just too fucking they'll be like, this the fuck up. So it's like, it'd be like, well, I thought they'll be like, well, I thought this, they'll try to act like a child, almost like a victim or something like that. And it's like, well, you could have just asked, why did you assume, or yeah, they'll just assume that, you're supposed to ask, do it for them. Sometimes you don't mind doing it. You just want to be asked, be polite, don't just sit there and, hold your cup up or something like that. Like, what, I'm supposed to refill it for you or something? Like, what you want? Yes, that's a cup. If that's what you want to know, yes, that identifies as a cup. What else you want to know? You know what I'm saying? No, it's, can you get me this? Can you, grab this? Fine, I'll do that. But, they will expect you to do things that you don't even know you're supposed to be doing, but they're expecting it. And they never communicate that to you. Again, just something else to try to keep you off balance and justify their emotional damage, or if they want to be angry and do their little anger issue thing, they'll do that, and go back to, I have nobody does anything, blah, 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 blah. The same old circle round and round and round. And it gets old, eventually you just get pissed, and then you want to start the fight, and that's what they love it then, because then, like I said, especially if the kids around, boy, they finna yell, they finna try to get everybody involved, you know what I'm saying? Or paying attention, especially if the kids get upset, you see what you're doing? You see what you're doing? Like, no, you did that. What adult involves their kids in so much stuff? Because you need somebody around to agree with everything you're saying. When you say, right, kids, right, mom, they're your kids. Of course they're going to agree. And they know what's going to happen if they disagree. You're going to bash them and berate them and do all these different things. You don't want no man around, or you don't want no woman around to be the stopgap in between that, to be the sheepdog. Yeah, see what I'm saying? You got to try to destroy them, make them out to be the enemy, bad talk them to the kids when they ain't around, things like that, It's that's why when they say just leave, that's the only solution.
So what is it? When it said that you're like a mama's boy.
Mama's boy, daddy's girl, daddy issues, mama issues.
Yeah.
Yes, seeking out similarities. It happens.
Yeah.
Definitely. Luckily, I never did that. At least I don't think I have consciously. I can't remember a time where I consciously, because I've never, like any woman I've ever been with, or girl, depending on what age I was, I've never noticed any qualities of my mother in them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I never compared, and I can say this for sure, I never compared anything like, oh, my mama did it this way. I never did that. Never said that. You know what I'm saying? I never even thought or felt like that. You know what I'm saying? My mother wanted us to be independent. She wanted all three of her sons to be independent, to not need anybody. You know what I'm saying? She wanted us to learn to cook for ourselves. She did everything. She did everything for us when we needed it. She was domesticated, if you want to use that. I know that sounds disrespectful, but it's, as far as, being, doing things around the house, housework. My dad worked, but she worked as well, but she still did that stuff at home. She made a home. She was a homemaker, literally. And so I didn't, it wasn't looked down upon, it was appreciated. And she enjoyed it, because I used to ask her, I'm like, didn't you used to, she was like, no, I enjoyed it. I like making a home. I like keeping it nice. I like, people to come into a clean house, that represents all of us, so I'm like, okay, cool. Because I just wondered, if she was ever gritting her teeth like, oh, I can't stand these one, and well, obviously a lot of younger women are not like that these days, and
Mhm.
so it's now it conjures up the old barefoot pregnant, back when women didn't have rights kind of image. When it's like, no, you're missing the whole benefit of that. You know what I'm saying? In the right kind of household with the right kind of guy, with the right kind of man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's part of that building, but it's all negative now. So, it's like, who knows if it's ever going to swing back the other way. But no, to answer that question, no, I haven't done that. I know people who have, and I've dated women who've, admitted that they've either subconsciously or consciously sought out men that had similarities to their dad, even with the worst qualities, because part of that, and I think it goes with boys and mothers, it goes from to the seeking an approval, validation. If they feel like they've never been truly approved of by that parent or had that validation from them, they'll seek
Mhm.
out a partner that represents that and seek validation from them. Which is why, my dad was alcoholic. I end up with alcoholics, abusive alcoholics, because they're trying
Mhm.
vicariously through that person to that partner to get that approval. Um, with mothers and boys, there's probably another. Oh, okay, yeah. And I'm sure probably dads probably do this to their daughters, um, without sounding, perverted or nothing like that. That whole mom
Mhm.
son sex complex or father daughter sex complex. Outside of that, more manipulation, where it's like, and I can't see. I don't know any dads who did this to their daughter. I can only speak on mothers, so I'm not targeting women only. This is what I can go off of. So, like,
Right.
don't, I know y'all understand. That's just for listeners. Um,
Mhm.
they turn their son into the dad, especially if the dad left or ain't around. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's like they try to
Mhm.
keep them close. And so they will baby them. They will, drive them everywhere. They will justify them. I saw this with Young Chop. I just saw a video, little documentary on him. How close he was with his mother. He didn't have a license. And he was an adult. His mother everywhere. They did
Mhm.
just close like that. And that's cool to be close like that. But how dependent was? You know what I'm saying? To where
Right.
to be without them, you can't function. You lose it. You don't want to be like that.
Mhm.
But some of these mothers, they do that because they fear being alone. And so some do it in a very, they don't even know they're doing it. They're really loving and just smother and they do everything. And, I got my man right here, I went on my prom. I went on the prom with my son, I took my son, stuff like that. It's that, they don't want to be left alone. They're getting older. Their whole life was their kids and they live for them. They hate to see it go. So they know they got to let go. And then you have the negative type, nigga, you ain't going to be shit. Blah, 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 blah. You just like your dad. Da, 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 da. Knowing that he's got to be dependent on her, you know. So at the same time, she telling him to get out. She holding him back as well because she never truly prepared him. No, she shouldn't have had to been doing it by herself in the first place. But hey, it is what it is. It's like, don't hamper this dude, don't stunt that man's growth. And then when
Mhm.
he's a grown ass adult, he's still mama, mama, or he can't have a healthy relationship with another girl because he everything, mama, you know, you telling mama about every damn thing, you know. So it's like, hey, let him go, let him go.
And that's the tripped out part about it is that you have a lot of men out there that are like that, like you said. It's a lot that's like that. And I don't think I ever, not even subconsciously, nobody that I've dated has been like my father. There's nothing wrong with my father, but I I don't know. I've never thought of anybody to even, act like him, think like him, any of that, right?
Right,
But I have seen several guys, even that I'm friends with. Oh, you are such a mama boy. Oh my goodness. Can you make your own plate? Can you please not ask people to do your laundry? Just weird. Like if when you're in a relationship, it's supposed to be your partner, not your
right,
caregiver.
right,
And they still didn't understand that with me being a friend, talking to them and trying to differentiate between the two, that this is your partner, the person that you're supposed to, want to marry or, have kids with or, build a life with versus somebody that's going to sit here and cut the edges off your bread. just to make you happy to eat a sandwich.
Oh yeah,
I
it's bad, but yeah, I like
What
that.
question
Yeah,
you was gonna ask?
but when you get to Mama's Boy, um, also going back to the narcissism and that whole Mama's Boy thing, um, that's also a tactic to try to disarm because yeah, people go to their family for support. Okay, a mama's boy, yeah, they will tell every aspect of everything and always call them mom for everything. Make a decision, call mama. That's a mama's boy. Okay. Like they just a whiny and yeah, you do my laundry, you didn't fix my plate, you didn't fix my plate like my mama did, whatever. Yeah, that's a mama's boy. However, you talk to your folks, you know what I'm saying? Your mother and your father, whatever, they're in your life and still living. Yeah, you got problems, just like anybody, a friend, whoever, you talk to them, right? An abuser and a narcissist, an abuser don't like their deeds coming to light. Okay, that pisses them off
Right.
because their image is now shattered. You know what I'm saying? It's affected because other people know what they're doing while they're out acting like this and talking about everybody else and putting everybody else in categories and boxes and all this and up in everybody else's business. You know what I'm saying? Because a narcissist needs to be the center of attention. They never talk
Mhm.
about themselves in a negative light, and so they go home and raise all kinds of hell. So when that partner is flipping out and they pissed off and stuff, everybody looking at the other person like, what's wrong with them? Damn, man. And then that's when the narcissistic partner comes out and be like, I don't know what's wrong with them. This and that. And now everybody's on their side sympathizing, oh man, you need to lead this person, this and that, not knowing that they're the one who started. Now, let's say
Right.
that partner goes and talks to that
What,
friend group.
hold on, because I got on late, so I'm trying to figure out what all did we cover today on the show. I'm sorry.
Ew.
What
Well, it
you
started.
need me from the beginning?
Yeah,
Oh,
cause
from the beginning. What up,
huh?
CJ?
Well, we talked about Pop Smoke's the killer that was
Big dog.
connected to the guy that they found in the barrel.
I
We
think
talked
they.
about Krishan Rock, and Blueface. We talked about,
Oh, Queen got to take it
of
off.
course, the narcissist. Yeah, Queen had to get ready for work. We talked about narcissist activities, so you came in on that part. And we talked about a couple of cases where females were murdered. We talked about the 8-year-old that was killed here in Chicago. So
When was
that's kind
that?
of last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
So
missed
we
the
don't
first
know
part.
like all the stories. They keep saying that the little girl, somebody got out of a car, walked up and shot her in the head, and then the family was like tussling with him or fighting with him, and he ended up shot in the face. Somebody else said that it was her uncle. It's been a whole bunch of stories that's been, buzzing
okay. So
around.
the
So
8-year-old girl uncle shot
he was
her.
shot in. No, we don't know that it was her uncle. So the news report was saying that he got out of the car and shot the little girl in the head.
That reminds me of that Tashawn Lee story.
Right,
Damn.
right.
Like, why the fuck would you kill a kid? Like,
Like I
I
said,
don't
right on
know.
the hills. Now that Queen was talking about the portals and stuff, Chicago, and I was like, it just
Mhm.
it struck me as strange that right after all the these guys come out with the no women, no kids thing, 2 days in a row,
Mhm.
group of women get shot up, and now kids being targeted
I
like
Mhm.
on purpose.
I seen where Drilla he said something about no shooting on the women and kids, that the kids go to school. I seen that on his page probably like a week ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I seen the short of that, and I mean it's not putting that with the the whole energetic signature and the portals and the the Satanist shit that goes on in Chicago, and then anytime some positive starts, this happens right damn near right behind it. Bunch of women get shot up and then kids getting shot on purpose. It ain't no innocent none on purpose. Like damn,
Mhm.
something really is evil in that city. So anybody that's trying to do good has to know that right behind it, something coming. To fight against that.
Right. Right. Well, we have to figure out something because, like I said, Chicago it's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. You know, you have a lot of great architecture. You know, places to see, things to do. The nightlife is amazing, but all of these things that are happening now are negatively impacting, you know, the citizens at least. We're not going to even talk about the tourists, but the citizens to be able to go out and enjoy it. You know, you too afraid. You don't even want to go downtown anymore because you
I
don't
was
know
gonna
when
say,
it's
yeah,
going to be
downtown.
another teen explosion. Hmm?
I was just gonna say when I went visited Chicago downtown, it was like for it to be a lake, the water was so blue, which I was like completely
Hmm.
shocked because
Hmm.
you know where I'm from, lakes are normally like it looks swampy. It's normally dirty. You don't really see pretty
Hmm.
blue lakes, and I thought that was like the most amazing part about Chicago that I experienced when I went there. But
Right.
I'm looking at these comments, man. I'm seeing a lot of good ones that I want to respond to.
and then it's
Hmm.
just like, so did the guy that got shot in the face was the one who shot her in the head?
Hmm.
Is he deceased?
He, no,
And he
he was in
survived.
critical. He was in critical the last I heard. So I
Yes,
haven't
So
watched
this
the
is one of the
news.
times when the police want to turn their head for some stuff. That should have been the one time. You should just let them go ahead finish him off. Like when
they
you
probably
shot
thought he
Hmm.
somebody.
was dead. If they shot him in the face, yeah, they probably thought he was
Right.
dead. He probably wasn't moving or nothing, but he was still, living, obviously.
And I mean, I don't
Hmm.
be wishing death on nobody, but when you like a child, what can an 8 year old child really do? An 8 year old child can't do nothing to you, like nothing.
Right. Right.
And it wasn't about them. It was about what's gonna hurt whoever it was most. And well, they was low enough to, target a child. Like what the hell? But the whole point was to hurt whoever it is he was pissed at, or I mean, owing money. It don't matter. But that's what that was. That was a message. You know what I'm saying?
I
But it's
mean,
dumb, period, to like just how they pull up and you just shoot into a crowd. You know,
It's cowardice.
yes, it is. And, you know, early on, we were talking about how I saw this video. They had some kind of gun that had a long extended clip on it, and he couldn't even control it. He's shooting and his hands going all up and all over the place. This how you shoot, you know,
Yeah,
innocent people.
yeah,
You don't even have control over it. You want it just because of what they call it.
fix that.
You know,
yeah.
not because you can use it properly.
When that whole YG and O Block thing came out, I was watching a little video on it.
Mhm.
They showed the post that the dude from New York, some dude from New York, I don't know, I think he was kind of like being a mediator, like trying to squash it or whatever. But
Mhm.
he threw some jabs in there, and it was true. He was like, "Y'all niggas shoot." He said, "Y'all in Chicago, y'all shoot more civilians and hitting the old ladies through windows and stuff like that." It's like people know. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all ain't gangster.
Exactly.
I like the way Snoop and Chris was on the wire. You know what I'm saying? When they did, it was coaching, like make sure you look them in the eye. You know what I'm saying? Make it's
Mhm.
personal. It's you did that. A lot of people don't have the heart for that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's easy to shoot in the crowd because you don't have to really look at the person's face and hit them pleading for their life, or defecating themselves, or all that. Shoot, don't stick around, just run. So now it's like, ooh, I'm brave. I actually was able to pull the trigger, because that's what they were trying to really see, if they could even have the balls to pull the trigger. Forget who they hit. It's I killed somebody. I pulled the trigger. I'm hard. And it's like that's why they be so excited. You know what I'm saying? When they get on live and stuff, they so excited that they had the guts to pull the trigger, because they told everybody, yeah, I blow. Yeah, but you got to hit what you blow at too.
Right.
But they just happy
Right.
that they was along for the ride, and actually pulled the trigger and hit something. It's stupid.
Mhm.
It's like, I ain't gonna blame video games, but they think it's a video game.
Right. And you know, at one point in time, it was always the argument that, well, you can't blame the video games and you can't blame these songs. You know, it's still up to you as a person to go against what is being said or what you're seeing on TV. Everybody knows it's a game. Well, some of these games have become so realistic, right? That you know, or in your head, you're thinking, they'll get up. They'll get another life. Or you have become so desensitized to what killing is, what shooting somebody is really like. You know, some of these games have the vibrations of the gun. You know, you see all of this blood splatter everywhere, and you're
Hmm.
desensitized to that. You don't think anything of that.
And not only that, it's subliminal messaging. Watch a
Hmm.
you know if you watch a walkthrough of like a GTA or something, look at the backgrounds, look at the buildings, little kind of satanic, it'd be
Yeah.
like little symbols and stuff, that's attacking, obviously attacking the subconscious too. So as you're doing that, that's I think it's behind that. That's what pushes a person to have that outlook when they're actually doing it in real life, because
Hmm.
I've spotted all kinds of pentagrams and stuff, like in graffiti on the walls or something like that in these games, and I
Hmm.
know for a while that was taken out of games, but the law was lifted, I think, in the 80s or something like that. And so now subliminal messages is back, and that's what these games are doing.
Hmm.
You look at the sewer covers. It don't matter, a car or something. You'll just see little things in the backgrounds and on the walls, and be like, "Whoa, what was that?" Your subconscious
Right.
picked it up, and so yeah, it's like a little possession with that.
I don't
Uh,
know. And when you try to think about ways to, help society get a little better and to um, be a little more sensitive and empathize and, all of that with your senses, they don't, how do we do that? When all over the place, the news has even become more graphic. You have the video games are graphic, the news has become graphic, your everyday programs. I remember back when you didn't hear anybody cursing on prime time news,
Yeah.
prime time TV. You didn't hear cursing, you didn't see any real nudity. Now it's all over the place. People kissing everybody. I said, oh,
oh yeah, but don't light up a cigarette in the movie. Oh God, no, that's terrible.
right, right,
Let me ask you
right.
this.
It's kind of like weird, but it's it's really appalling at some point of how our society has taken what was should have been like adult TV, adult talk, adult everything, and made it for everybody. Oh, this is the everybody program. Some of the movies that you see that are like PG-13, and they got a
Yeah,
whole bunch of kissing and groping, and I'm like, I don't want my son to see that. What is
yeah.
happening?
See, like with
You know?
those ratings
Hmm.
have like it's like little stipulations. Like you can watch a PG-13 and it will show all kinds of things. They'll show somebody
Hmm.
raping or whatever. But it's like,
Hmm.
well, if they stab someone, you can't show blood on the blades. That
Right.
qualifies it as PG-13. You know what I'm saying? But you
Hmm.
show everything else, and that's how they get around it. And then obviously it's about money. So if this is what people going towards, all the other networks and everybody, their shows are going to get more graphic and more vulgar because they're trying to compete with other because that's what people want. And so now they got to go against whatever principle they had just to compete, and now they're gonna go hard, even harder. Hulu, Netflix, the regular TV networks, all of them. You'd be like, damn.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I know a lot of us are probably looking like, damn, they showing that on network TV now. They can say that on network
Right.
TV now. Whoa, hold up, it's changing. But the thing is, we catching up. The rest of the world. That's why a lot of kids in other nations and other continents are more mature in a sense because
Hmm.
they don't pull no punches. I was watching the news in Europe and stuff like that. They don't pull no punches.
Hmm.
When they
Yeah.
show war, they ain't finna show just, a flaming vehicle. They gonna show the body and everything. You do that here, it's like, oh my God, like when those contractors got killed in Fallujah and they hung the bodies from the bridge. Like, somewhere else, that's a Tuesday. They see that on the news, it's like, oh,
But
okay, there it
they're
is.
starting to take, they're starting to take a lot of the graphic stuff like violence from a lot of the countries like the United States, music that has
Hmm.
violence in it, or even certain
Oh yeah.
violent movies. They're not playing that in some of them countries overseas.
Yeah, no, not some of them. No, no. I mean, I can only speak on the Middle East and Europe. And I know in Europe it's like no filter. I mean, so they have some of these, you know, with the newscast. You've probably seen them compilations with the women anchor. You know, they sitting there stripping as they're, you know, doing the weather and stuff. You know what I'm saying? By the time they done, they in bra and panties and heels. You know,
What?
stuff like.
Are
No, I
you
think that was in South
serious?
America. It's in South America. I'm sorry, but it's just
Oh
stuff like,
wow.
yeah, for real. Like it was like no filter over there. And so
Mm,
I'm like, man. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe the veil needs to be lifted. You know, maybe, you know, even here in America, people need to realize that, you know, even if it's to appreciate what you got here, maybe we need to see this
mm,
stuff. Maybe it's time to see it. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why when they you know, when Vietnam, the war in Vietnam, it's like, what did it do? It changed people's view. Before Vietnam, everything was, you know, highly controlled and propaganda and hooray, USA, we're always winning, victory, victory, you know, except for things you can't hide like Pearl Harbor. But, you know, it was highly controlled. You know, I was surprised when I found out all the Looney Tunes cartoons was from way back then. And they started out as little clips for intermissions at movies just to promote the war effort, war bonds, and all these different things. I didn't get that. I thought they were modern. So it's the same thing now. You know, I'm sorry. So when Vietnam hit, they televised everything. Nothing was taboo. It was cameras everywhere. And now people know the truth. Now you got protests, anti-war groups, you know, everything. It's people, and now it's like, oh my God, that's terrible. Like, yeah, you thought it was all heroic, like in the movies and stuff, but no, it's horrible. It's hell, literal hell, you know. And so I was thinking, like, maybe people need to see this. Maybe they wouldn't be so itching to send troops to war, you know, or whatever it is, you know, not just military war stuff like that, but when you see the true ugliness of it, it changes everything, you know. And I feel like maybe that would prepare people better because the world's only going to get worse, and the last thing you need is a bunch of people sitting around talking about what's going on. Nah. So people need to know. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but if they're gonna dispose it, they need to dispose it all because, like, even like me working for the
Distance.
VA, right? In the
Whoa.
Marines.
I think she got kicked out.
Can you
you
hear
there,
me?
Lexi? I mean, Lexi, Kaya.
You can hear me?
Uh,
Can you?
yeah.
Yep.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no, but what I was gonna say, based on what he was just saying, that's like my daughter. She was in the Marines. One of my daughters is in the Marines, and so we have a Marine Mama Marine support group, right? And well, I'll be understanding how some of these kids don't even go to the war and they be ready to commit suicide. And like the Marines got the highest suicide rate out of all the branches in the military. Like what the fuck be going on at boot camp that make them want to kill themselves? The one young man, he was like 19 years old, had never. I think he only made it to MCT and then committed suicide. And it's like sometimes with the military, when they deprogram you, they mess you up in your head so much that you don't even want to keep going. You know,
Uh,
keep going on. And even
yeah,
the older veterans. So that's like with my job, if a veteran makes the comment like I feel like killing myself, or they just want to end it all, we have to go into a wellness check. Like we got to
yeah,
keep the veteran on the phone, change his conversation, but then also we got to alert the authorities, tell them where they're at. Some of these veterans are homeless, and so we don't know where they're at, and then we got to find a way to try to get them some type of help, you know. So it ain't just they playing.
Hmm.
yeah.
So
I when I first got out, I struggled for a while. You know, it was just adjusting to normal life. You know what I'm saying? It's really difficult because yeah, the way things operate in there and then outside, you know, on the outside, what we call the real world, yeah, it's totally different. And yeah, I felt really misunderstood. Um, you know, it's like nobody gets it. You know what I'm saying? You just feel frustrated. You know what I mean? And all you want to do is go back to what you know until
they
you
got
know you
nothing but
start just
ghost cars out right now. I'm
yeah who
sorry,
See, it's because
they
it's
got
extremely
ghost cars out
structured.
right now
Do you
where
feel that?
Huh?
I was hearing two different things at once.
Oh no, I was saying they had ghost cars out. It's these police child, the police cars. We call them ghost cars because they don't look like regular police cars, but they're not undercover cars.
Oh,
The chef
oh,
sign is incognito on the side, so like the truck is silver, but it got chef sign in silver on the side, and they snatching people over left and right.
oh,
Oh
damn.
So
yeah.
yeah, so my ass down.
So OMC, did you feel like because of the structure that you had, it was so structured that once you got out, it was like, now what do you do without that?
Yes. Um,
Okay.
it was, in the military, it's like, hey, you need to be here at this time, don't be late. If you early, you're on time. If you're on time, you late type deal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Uh-huh.
You supposed to be
out
at
here
least
it's a little bit
15 minutes.
more
You supposed to be at least 15 minutes early, like.
Uh-huh.
right.
And then
So,
even, I'm sorry, but I'm finna just say this, like with my dad. My dad, he was in Vietnam, like he a Vietnam vet, and he's up there in age, but he only would sleep like maybe 4.5 hours, and
yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
he could keep going. But his body is like clockwork, has been set in clockwork forever. That
You there?
Uh-oh. What happened?
one, and then
I
he
don't
might
know.
go,
Oh, there she goes.
2, 3
Hi.
o'clock, you know. And so like
Oh, uh-oh. Yep. Lost.
another one of my
Okay.
brothers that came
Now,
after.
Ty.
I'm on the bridge. Can y'all still hear me?
Uh,
Yeah.
now we can.
Oh, girl, when I be going over this water, I be cutting out. But so it's like two sets of us. So I got brothers and sisters that were born before Vietnam, and then this us that was born after Vietnam. So we don't know our daddy prior to Vietnam. We know the him,
Mm-hmm.
him now. And I just see him. I see the military parts of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Um.
and then
uh,
the PTSD. I think all military personnel have a form of PTSD. Some of them learn how to cope with it, and some of them don't. Um, I don't know.
I faked it till I made it. I didn't go
I
see
just know
anybody.
the veterans I talked to, they tell me. I talked to this one veteran, and he told me he had been out the military 30 years, and he still have not transitioned back into civilian life. He went and moved to like Montana because he couldn't be around the hustle and bustle of the city. He needed to be off in seclusion to keep his mind sane so he wouldn't hurt himself. Or he ended up losing his wife and his kids because he went off to war, and he was so messed up in his mind to keep from killing them. He had to go move to the mountains. And I'm like, you hear that and you be like, damn, you know.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's deep. Um. Well, I didn't have that issue, so to speak. I've never liked. I mean, I'm okay with a little hustle and bustle, but all the time now, I like a lot of solitude. Um.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the biggest thing for myself was, you know, that not so much as who am I, but what am I doing now that compares to what I did then? You know, when you're in, it's just a job. It becomes normal because that's your everyday life. So, when civilians will come up and be, oh, thank you for your service. You guys are heroes. And we're like, what? No, it's just a job. What do you mean? Like, we don't feel no special. You know what I'm saying? Afterwards, you get out, it's not so much of a, oh, I'm special. I was a hero. Cause I don't even look at my old pictures really, you know what I'm saying? It's more of a
Mm-hmm.
thing of, man, I was in charge of multi-million dollar equipment on different continents, making a difference. You know what I'm saying? Hurricane relief, war, whatever. And
Okay,
now I'm
but
working
let's.
here.
What about the dirty side to it, where it's military sexual trauma? It's racism. They are not supposed to haze, but they're still they're still hazing. hazing people. You know, like I mean, yeah, it's a benefit to it, but then it's a ugly part that's hidden from the world. You
Yeah, that's
know,
just like that's low, and unfortunately, a lot of it
it's
goes
not.
unreported.
Oh, and see, it's not low. It's not low for a fact.
No, no, no. I
It's
mean,
not.
like low, like I mean, low, like low, like in low as in like low down, dirty. Not the
Oh,
cases.
I was
It
gonna say
still goes
those
on.
numbers not.
Oh
Yeah,
no, 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 they're
the
high.
numbers.
Uh, it's just that
That's
much
just
more
like
goes unreported or underreported,
Mhm.
and the one
and
thing like
they
with my daughter, she enlisted when she was 16. Like she passed her ASVAB when she was she was 16 because she graduated when she was 17, and
uh,
it was like I didn't want her to join the Marines. I wanted her to do the Navy or the Air Force, but the Navy is the one branch. If y'all have kids that's trying to join the military, the Navy is the one branch that does not let you pick your job. You give them three choices of the jobs that you want. Pick your first choice job, you will not get it. They tell you pick your first choice to last. I mean, she just so happened to have a good recruiter to tell her, give her the ins and outs about it. And then he went he ended up being shipped off to a different spot. So she got another job.
you're going in and out. Signals
It's
weak.
going out, Kaya. I know
Okay.
she said she was going over the bridge.
Yeah, he. Oh man.
It might really be.
Can you hear me?
She might have lost her too.
There you
Okay,
go.
now she was back, right? Kaya? I don't know.
Man, that's a dead zone for real.
For real. That's scary. Look, she just dropped out. That's scary.
But man,
I
yeah, that
don't know.
it's like a like an identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Mhm.
like you want to like when you weigh the gravity of what you did and what it meant. You know what I'm saying? Even if it didn't change a damn thing, it changed. It meant something to you. You know what I'm saying? It meant something to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's like you want to continue on that track to do even greater things, but now you just got this regular life, and you just feel
Right.
disappointed. It's like damn. It's like damn. I felt like a somebody there. Now I feel just like nobody. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and you know that it's not like I never knew it before, and I never been in the military. When you've been over there and then you come back to the other side, it's like damn, well, I want to do something that's still that has that grand feel to it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's a little bit of ego, yeah, but a lot of it is just this. This is your lane. This is the tempo you like operating at. When things slow down, you don't know what to do with yourself. Now you it's like damn, I want to go back to war now. You know what I'm saying? I've had thoughts like that. I never thought
Oh
about killing
wow.
myself, but it's like
Mhm.
you want some action. You want that kind of activity. Where
Mhm.
it was clear cut. You had a clear purpose. There was no deviation. This is the plan. This is the plan of the day. You do it. You get it done. That's it. Not all this. Oh, give me about a few more minutes, or it's not done yet. And you're getting frustrated because you want to respond the way you would in the military. Why isn't it done? All right, nobody leaves until it's done. Well, it don't work like that on this side. It's like, all right, tomorrow, and you like, damn, we can get this done. We need to get this done because you're thinking goal oriented. You're thinking, all right, get this done for the day. That way you don't have to do it tomorrow. So it's when you making those adjustments and
Mhm.
and and then people may say things smart like, well, this ain't the military. So, stuff like that. It pisses you off. And it's like, well, you don't have to be in the military to have simple fucking standards as a decent human, you know, to respect this boundary or to be on time or like that don't take military. It's just, people try to use that as an insult and it makes you really defensive, and so what do? You tend to move away from, only deal with people who are veterans and stuff like that. And I didn't want to be like that.
So here's my question. Do you feel like you know how everybody's saying with these kids and young adults and some of them older that's out here just killing people and shooting people. Do you think that shipping them off to the military would change their mindset?
Some,
Hmm.
some it'll be a
Ding
recipe for
dong, right?
disaster.
Right, because then they
Hello?
learn new skills, right?
Right. And I mean,
We
I
outside.
think there was an
We
episode of
outside.
Gangland that was talking about that. I think, military members and, they learn the skills and come back and, hook up with their gang and,
Hmm.
they just that more deadly. For a lot of people, I think for most, it does do better. You know, um,
Hmm.
all through boot camp and all through my time in the Navy, come across a lot of so-called hotheads. They from the street, they bloods, they Crips, they gang. Everybody about where they from for a while, and they the toughest ones. You know what I'm saying? They make the best people. You know what I'm saying? They turn out and they turn out great, and they end up making a full career of it. While everybody else had them pegged for, failure right away, they end up standing out, you know. But it's also the hardest ones, they break the fastest too. They can't handle the structure. They can't handle somebody telling them what to do, all this stuff. But they try to act hard, but ain't nobody tell my face tell me what to do. It's like it ain't that. You homesick and you're weak and you're afraid to admit that. You know what I'm saying? So you want to come into a institution that's all based on orders and structures and talk about what you ain't finna do and what you're not finna listen to. Why the hell are you here? Why you ain't back on your
I know
block
with
gang banging?
I know with like when my daughter, and this is what they did. That my daughter had wrote me a letter, and she was like, when the girl got in her face, and I guess she was yelling, and she was like she spit on, like she made me want to beat the shit out of that lady. I'm like, what, you know? And then her recruiter, like he had already just put me on game on what I needed to do. He was like, flood her with as many letters as possible. And then it was like, I want to say around, because the Marine Corps has the longest boot camp than any branch. They have like 13 weeks that
Uh-huh.
they're at boot camp.
Yeah.
And so it was like round, I want to say maybe round week 7 or week 8, they withheld her mail for like 4 weeks. I guess they was out in the field during that time frame. And so she wrote this letter, and she's like, I haven't heard from you in a month, in 3 weeks or something like that. And so she
Hmm.
made me feel bad because I was steady sending, like I was sending her multiple letters a week. And so her friend ended up going, and when her friend mom told me the same thing. And I was like, they purposely withhold the letters so they could detach them away from their family, because then it went from being a family, it's no longer I or me, it's us and we. And they're telling them to, for the love of the country, you have to sacrifice your body. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I have literally whispered in my daughter ear, like, do what they say, but whatever you do, don't let them take control of your mind. But when she first came home, it took my daughter like 6 months for her to even start showing remnants of the old person she used to be. But she has not. She would never be the same. Like, she was very timid before she joined the Marine Corps, very soft spoken, very shy. Um,
Hmm.
she's she's more assertive now. I'm sorry. And she really don't take too much BS, like,
Well,
off of anybody.
that's a good
Like,
thing.
I
You
don't
know,
know, but
it's just taming that aggression, I guess.
even nah, because they even then, every year you gotta go through your PT, your physicals, and all the other stuff. And this one girl where they take you with the like the sticks, and so they have to go out there like they have to combat or whatever. She
Uh
turned
huh.
around, the girl hit her too hard, and she bust the girl nose. And so I was like, oh God, that's like all the years of aggression she let out on the girl. But I'm proud of her, but she's not gonna re-enlist. I don't even want her to re-enlist.
Well, that's why they do that.
You know,
For that aggression, to get that aggression out as well. So yeah, they do a lot of really physical things. It might have Olympics or something like that, and it's different things that's really physical. And it's to that's why the Marines are the most tight knit, because they create that atmosphere like that. What's the thing? Unit, core, God, country, or something like that. um, because it's like they're focused on war, preparing for war, and they want everybody to feel like brothers and sisters out there in that field because that's all each other's gonna have, and they depend on each other. Sometimes I think too dependent. You know what I mean? But that's why they're so tight, and that's why they work so well. That's why they're the only branch to this day that still meet their recruiting goals. All the other branches, they're low. There's something about the Marines. I always wonder, like, man, if I went to the Marines, would it be different? I'm pretty sure it would have. And then being in the Navy, of course, we see a lot of Marines. We work with them all the time, so I've seen how they operate versus other branches, and I love to see it. Um, her only risk is, hey, being able to turn it off. Hey, not everything requires this kind of aggression.
But
It's
no.
not Marine time, huh? What?
What?
What happened?
What did you say? I don't know. He's like he's good evening.
Oh, that's her phone acting up.
Oh, all right.
Y'all can hear me?
I was
Go
just
ahead,
saying
keep
about
going.
the aggression thing and the camaraderie with the Marines. Um, a lot of the stuff. I mean, obviously, they rough on them, and most hazing is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It's good fun hazing. You know what I'm saying? And some, how can I say this? I don't want to sound like I'm blaming. If they didn't do it there, they was gonna do it somewhere else because they were just not equipped to handle certain things. They just happened to be in the military when it happened. They could have been in civilian life and people, mess with them and they probably would still kill themselves or want to kill themselves
Y'all not
because
working?
they
Can
haven't
y'all
been
hear
built
me?
up in strength.
Y'all not working? It's good.
Oh, she must be at the store or something.
No. It's where I'm at. It's
Oh,
like it goes in and out, and then like when I'm close to this water, um, shit. Can y'all see me? I hate these fucking trees. Y'all can hear me?
Yes,
yeah.
we hear you.
Oh, but I don't know. She's not gonna re-enlist, but like if you're doing the Marine Corps, you could go into any branch. You could re-enlist in any branch that you want. Versus if you're in a different branch, you have to go to boot camp to become a Marine.
Yeah, I mean they're the creme de la creme, you know what I'm saying, out of the four branches, you know. And that's never changed. They've stayed more true to, their roots than any other branch, I think. Even with woke culture and everything, Marines stay Marines. You know what I mean? They've they've kind of told the line of politics, you know what I mean, and kept true to their nature, and that's why they can still operate the way they do. I was shocked to, like, when I would see Marines, I was like, man, they're not wearing name tags or they're not wearing their ranks, but everybody knows everybody's name and rank. I don't know another branch that can do that. That's that close. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how much of a unit cohesion that they foster and formulate throughout boot camp and throughout their careers,
Hmm.
because that's gonna be the person next to you, and that's just it. All the hazing and all that stuff, and the way that the drill instructors. I mean, hey, it's it's armed forces. Ain't nobody finna hold nobody hand. Your enemy ain't finna hold your hand. If you can't take being yelled at, if you can't take, anything, that you can't take being shot at. You can't take when you stuck for 16 hours and somebody lobbing mortars around and they exploding around you, and everybody else still got to fight because you want to live, and they sitting there, peeing and defecating on themselves, crying for their mamas. You know what I'm saying? And bullets whizzing by. It's like, nah, you don't want to be that person. So it's like, that's what's all that for. That's why I never look down on too much of it. When it gets out of hand, yeah. But a lot of the stuff that people be talking about, I'm like, man, hey, if you're getting shot at, they can't throw bombs at your head in training. So that's what they got to do. They got to be rough on you. They got to, because your enemy ain't gonna feel sorry for you. You know, time out.
Right.
Nah, you dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they got to. For your own benefit, a person has to change a little bit, assimilate a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Not lose yourself. I made sure it's like, I'm not going to lose myself in this. Everybody thought I was going to be some, stringent, crazy, when I got out, and everybody, oh man, you still the same. Yeah. You know, I separate the two. That's my job, not my identity.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, there's some good things that I develop, qualities and things that I stick with, but everything else, no. You
I
know,
tried to
Mhm.
join the military like 3 times. And each time I tried to join the military, I'd be pregnant. And I was like, it must not be meant for me to go. It just must not
Yeah.
be meant.
you going in and out again?
I'm on the
She
you
said
can
she tried to join the military 3 times. I'm like, forget that. No, no,
yeah.
no, no, no. I
But
wasn't
Yeah,
built for the military at all.
but
Forget
yeah.
that.
and
But
see,
see, that's the
you.
thing, like you be okay, so it was like more so my mama she put it in me like join the military so you can travel. Put your earbuds on because I'm on the phone. And I was and that was my thing. She wanted me to travel and she wanted to be my dependent so she could travel with me. And it was just like I was 17 and it was like I was pregnant and then I tried to join a few years later and then I was pregnant and I was like, okay. And then I tried to join the third time and I was like, you know what, it ain't it. It's just not.
You sounding
Said
kind
the
of low
love
again.
didn't.
I'm still on.
Can you hear us,
Can,
Kaya?
I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
All right, there you go. All right.
Okay, now we can
It
hear
might.
you.
I'm gonna say it might have been my earbuds. I won't get no the wireless earbuds.
Mhm.
But
Oh man.
So I
but
don't
yeah,
know,
I feel
y'all.
like
We've been on here for a long time,
how long y'all been on? How long
and
you
I
been
worked
on?
this morning. We've been on. It's been 2 hours and 40 minutes, girl.
I know. Well,
Oh, 2 hours.
I was
I swear, time moves
basically
so fast on these
I
lives.
picked up
I
that
swear it does. Yeah.
I picked up that
You.
second job. So
Oh
it's
yeah. When do
I
you
go
you you?
girl I go into training. This should be what be crazy. I go on a training from 6 to like 11:30. So I get to
It's breaking up again, Kaya.
my 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 main job is the pay job. So
I don't think she can hear.
I the benefits.
Yeah, it's
It's
Lexi said
breaking
she
up,
could hear.
Kaya. You can hear Kaya? Yeah, she went out. Well,
Dang
it's
it.
been amazing. I'm tired. I've been up since 2 this morning. So I appreciate you, OLC, for coming on and hanging out with us.
It's always a pleasure. Y'all know. I just be surprised. I be having so much crap to say. You know.
And no, that's good. You help us out and pull us along because most of us, I know I'm not that big on, like talking all the time. So I appreciate when you and Queen come on and you all, elaborate and get me to, pulling a little something out of me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, y'all help me because I don't know this stuff is in me. I don't be thinking about it until the topic comes up, and that's why I be surprised at what I say. Not bragging,
Hmm.
but it's just like that's once again proves our interconnectedness as humans. We need each other for lots of different things. We can't exist in a
That's
vacuum.
true.
I learned that because I used to spend so much time alone, and I thought that's all I needed, and it's like, well, why sit with a head full of ideas and things that can be shared with others? And other people have told me that, and I've always shied away from it because I'm not a
Hmm.
good at small talk. Like this right here, I can do this. If you
Hmm.
just try to talk to me about the local things, some sports or something like that, I can't. I can't even carry it. I can't even talk about it. And that makes me feel bad because that's what most people, just kicking a bobo. I can't do that. Most times I struggle to do that. And so this
Hmm.
is it's a good outlet, and it helps me socially.
See, it works out
Thanks, Lexi. I
because,
appreciate it.
I can do a little bit of both, but it's a little bit. It's not a lot. It's a little bit. Now I can talk about sports. I can talk about shoes, and I can talk about Chicago. I got you. Anything else, I was sitting there like, teach me something. And like Lexi said, you know a lot. And that's what I mean by like we need to continue these conversations so that we can get the most out of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
And make room for more to come in.
exactly. Exactly.
That's what I see it
So,
as. It's clearing out for more to come in, more downloads.
absolutely. So, you guys, please make sure you subscribe to all of us. Um, OMC, you want to give them your handle on IG and YouTube?
I just say I'm just OMC 2537 on YouTube and just OMC on Instagram.
Okay,
This logo would be the same thing. If you don't see this logo, it ain't me.
that's right. And then Queen is the Queen Lotus 126, or is it just 26? It may just be 26. The Queen
No, it's
Lotus
one two
26.
six.
It
It's
is
one two
126.
six.
The Queen Lotus 126 on YouTube, and she is Queen Lotus on Instagram. And you'll see her picture on both. And then Kaya Baby is Kaya Baby 220 on YouTube and on IG. Um, Sexy Lexi is Sexy Lexi with three eyes 89, and that's on YouTube. And I think that's also on IG. Hopefully that's correct, Lexi.
I
And
think
then
Kaya
I
said let
am,
me in. I'm sorry.
she did, where's she at?
Yeah, 846. It's 848. Yeah, she said let me in the chat.
Okay. Okay, there she go. Hey Kaya, so we just giving our handles
No,
because we
stop.
about to cut it
You
short,
can,
okay? You want to
you,
make sure to tell them what your handle is on IG and YouTube?
you said it right. It's Kaya Baby 220 and on YouTube and IG.
Okay. And I am the one and only underscore ENC on YouTube and IG. So we appreciate everybody for coming out and blessing us at one point in time. If you're still on and you have not hit the like button, please do so and share this live for us. And we appreciate y'all for watching. All
Stay
right,
blessed.
y'all.
Stay safe.
And
All
I have
right,
an
see y'all
actual pay.
later.
I actually have a playlist for the Only the Latest Network on my channel. If y'all want to hear
I
some of
have
the
one
old
too.
lives. Oh, okay.
Yes,
All right.
we should all have a playlist on our channel so you can see all the old lives that we did. All right, y'all. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you. Y'all have a
Peace.
blessed day. Good night.
Bye.